All right, boom. So, in the building today, we got someone with a very compelling, captivating story. You know what I mean? A story I really feel like can be a blockbuster film, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, given what you've been through and everything, and obviously how the story panned out.
Yeah.
We got a man like Cashh in the building,
I got my bro.
formerly known as Cashtastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My bro, you saying anything good?
They're good, fam.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, like I said, bro, like the story, I rate it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a story where it's got to come from the source itself, kind of thing,
Yeah.
innit? So obviously we got you here today, much appreciated. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're just gonna pretty much get into it. So if we can just take it like all the way back, pretty much, innit, and just start from like obviously where you was born and your earliest memories of childhood, sort of thing.
Alright, so I was born in Jamaica, in a place called Park Lane. Park Lane is off of a road called Red Hills Road. And my mum's side of the family is from Park Lane, and my dad's side of the family is from 100 Lane. Park Lane and 100 Lane are separated by an alley, just a small walk, but both sides are at war.
Okay.
Yeah. So my dad's side is at war with my mum's side.
You
get me?
Yeah, I feel you still. Yeah, that's
so
mad.
craziness. But like as a youth, this is prior to me ever coming to the UK. This is the stuff that I found out later on in life. But like, if someone from either side wanted to go close to anywhere on the other side, they'd walk with me, basically.
Oh, well, because you had ties to the other side as
Basically,
well.
so
Okay.
it's kind of like, he's with my man. Well, not my man, but do you know what I mean? He's with Kashif. So they get me, because my dad from his side respected, you get me? And then my family from my side respected as well, you get me? I had
Okay.
loads of women in my family, so like, it's not necessarily to say like the respect was from badness. It might have just been from affiliation, in it. Bare women, so either whoever's married to this one or whoever's baby father is this one, or do you get what I'm trying to say? Just who's brethrens and who's doing business with the man them. You get what I'm trying to say? So I guess on both sides, yeah, it was solidified from there. Earliest childhood memory, I don't know if it's my earliest, but I have a lot of selective memory in regards to Park Lane and just my time there before I got to the UK. I'll share both of them. One is I just remember having to sleep on the floor. So I was staying with my grandma at this point.
Okay.
I'm maybe 4 years old, and I remember us having to sleep like on the floor in the bedroom, but we had to put the mattress like under the window. So let's imagine this is the window. We got to sleep like here. We got to push the mattress up to here and sleep underneath the window. And I remember asking my grandma why, and she was saying because obviously our bed was set up over here, but it's wartime, so if bullets do fly through the window, we're under the window, so we'll be safe. That's one of my early memories.
And was it a thing where like it actually went down and bullets was flying?
No.
Yeah?
A bullet had never. If you go back to the house now, there's bullets. But give God thanks, you get me. It was never when man was there, you get me. Like, but I just remember that being like, you know, like children would have like loads of questions.
Yeah,
you know, like
thing,
you're just a curious child, and like when a child asks an adult a question, that's followed up with another question. I remember when my grandma said that to me, I had no more questions. I knew exactly what that meant, you know what I mean? So that's one of my earliest ones. And another early one was, I always had brethren older than me. So my brethren, them that was older than me, they'd always take me outside of Park Lane and go wherever they go. So these are the man them that are raving. They're teenagers at this point when I think about it now. But they're the young ones that are out there, you know what I'm trying to say? But they'd take me as the little one, basically, wherever they were going, like, you get me? And I remember we was going, I don't know where in Jamaica it was at the time. So Park Lane's in Kingston. Sorry, I forgot to mention that part. So I'm born in Kingston, Jamaica. And we was going somewhere, some road trip. And I remember some people tried to like either hitchhike. So they tried to get like on the bus, and I think because the man them weren't letting them on the bus, I remember I'm sat at the back of the bus, and I remember as we're driving off, loads of glass just shattering. I think they threw something and broke the window basically. I don't know what happened after that or anything, but that was just another early memory.
Okay. Boom. Yeah, nah, sounds mad still. Like, I mean, considering how young you were as well, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
rolling with,
yeah, it's mad.
literally.
And you
It's
know
mad.
what's crazy, bro? I didn't remember a lot of things, but those two memories have never left me. It's mad. Yeah, they've never ever left me.
Nah, that's proper interesting still. So if we were to like move on a little bit and say, obviously, a decision was made at some point, but I'm assuming, you know, parents or, you know, the superiors or the relatives that we're now gonna go over to the UK and now we're gonna reside over there. So if you can talk about that memory there, so if as far as transitioning, coming from Jamaica to the UK, what was that whole experience and that ordeal like?
Right. So my family were fortunate to always had ties overseas. So whether some of us lived overseas already, aunts or whatnot, when they go overseas, they don't just make friends. They make friends and then they make their friend come and link us in yard. So I'm used to seeing tracksuit, Nike Tech, TNs. I'm in yard knowing about TNs and Nike and certain things from before I ever saw a Nike store. You get what I'm trying to say? Because we had ties with the UK and America as well. So it was just, that was like an inevitable. It's like the mum or the aunt or whoever would go, and then eventually you'd see them take one child at a time or whatever. My mum went. So at some point it was going to be my turn basically to go.
So she left first.
Yeah,
basically.
so she left first and she had forward to England, and she was in the UK, and basically eventually I basically got sent for, and then I traveled over there. And at this point, it was legal for you to travel alone as a minor. So I actually did the traveling from Jamaica by myself on the plane as maybe a 6-year-old or 7 or whatever.
Are you being sick? So you were 6 and 7 years old on a plane?
One up, yeah.
Are you
So I
serious?
think how it worked is you can travel alone as a child if like the air hostess, they assigned like an air hostess to you. So every now and then
like
she'll come and check on you,
yeah.
see if you're all right and all of that stuff. But yeah, I did that travel one up.
That's still a madness though. I mean,
Yeah.
being a child that age,
Yeah.
going on a plane, like, do you have like memories of that? Like you can share
Nah,
that sort of thing
that went completely.
Yeah?
The only thing, again, another memory that never left is when we were landing again, I didn't expect the dip. So when the plane was like sending it, like I remember just vomiting.
Serious?
Yeah, I just remember my belly going, fam. Say, raw. I weren't expecting that, you get me? But anything other than that, I don't remember if I slept on that flight. I don't remember nothing. I don't remember the food, nothing at all.
So from when you land, obviously besides the throwing up
Yeah,
part,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you land now, and obviously you're getting processed, you're going through. Is there, I'm assuming you'd obviously have like family waiting for you to take you out and
Right.
boom.
So this is the part now.
Okay.
My mum and that and my family members weren't at the airport to collect me. It was a stranger. Now me, I don't ask no questions. If it's being done in this way, it's being done in this way for some reason, you get me? So that was one of the first things. I'll never forget. I think, bro, God forgive if he isn't, but I'm pretty sure he's passed away now. The person that they made collect me. No, what am I talking about? She's passed away, yeah, 100% she's passed away.
God bless,
R.I.P.
God bless.
Natasha.
Right.
We was a family friend basically, and she came and collected me. I'm guessing now because she was British. You see, at the time I didn't know. You get me? My people them couldn't come in the airport. It was risky business. You get me? So
no, but I feel like that's like a kudos to the community sort of thing.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
It's a strong community.
Of course.
Where man could just do that little one for you.
100%.
You know what I mean?
That's it. You get me? So
Serious.
once I came through, I was here, and now I was in foreign. You get me? So now I was one of the people that I used to think about. Like when they go on the plane and they go up in the sky, you get me? And I'm up in the sky now, you get me?
No, facts. So, boom, yeah, as I said, bro, that alone is crazy. I mean, being a minor coming and all of them experiences there, oh, like you can't write this stuff basically, do you know what I mean?
It's mad, only God, man.
So, okay, boom. So now at this point, obviously you're in foreign now and you settled in Peckham. I believe.
No. So initially, I had family members that are living in Peckham already. Most of the family are living in Peckham. My stepdad and my mum are living in Lewisham. So in terms of where I'm resided, it's in Lewisham. But I'm in Peckham almost every other day because that's where all my cousins my age are there, basically. At that stage. That's before I moved to Peckham. But when I first got here, I'm in Lewisham, going back and forth.
And it's not too far either, like Lewis, all
Yeah,
southeast
it's not
London.
too far. It's not too far. It's maybe like, what, 20 minutes? Yeah.
So, I mean, so now you're in Lewisham now, so what's your sentiments and attitudes to now being in obviously foreign and, you know what I mean? It's like, the weather is one thing that man got acclimatized to, like all these little intricacies, like what was your mood like, if you can take it back then and just try and remember, like, you know what I mean? Like, what was that whole mood like being in London at this point?
Maybe you can fact check this, yeah? Look up what year the first PlayStation 1 came out. I'm not sure. It was either the first PlayStation 1 or the first one where they made it a bit smaller. They had like two different sizes.
Thing.
Basically.
That might have been like the early 2000s, I believe.
Yeah, so I just remember getting here and my mum was going to pattern me with one, basically. Like immediately, it's like, right, I'm going to get PlayStation, rare. And like, we went out, I remember we've gone Lewisham, we've done the shopping, this, that. We've come back, she bought a brand new TV for the PlayStation. Come in and it doesn't connect to that TV in particular. I just remember like bitching, like, you get what I'm trying to say? So when I think about that memory, I think I might have been a little bit spoilt by my mum. You get me? Because I remember like, fam, you got a PlayStation now, but I'm there balling like, because I can't play it right now. You see what I'm trying to say? And I remember the next day her going and getting a new one, specifically that worked with the PlayStation. So this is to give you like a timestamp. That's a PlayStation 1 as well. Like this is not 2, it's the PlayStation 1, the little silver one or whatnot. You know what I mean? You press the little circle button.
Yeah, boom, major throwback.
Yeah, this is them local times there. So like, feeling wise, again, as I'm here chatting to you, I don't want to lie. Like, I don't remember like adjusting to the weather, thinking, it's cold or anything like that. I just remember being here and knowing like, I'm here now. And I remember my stepbrothers and that, like, just making fun out of like my accent because I'm fresh. You get me? And these men are all born in yard as well, but they've been here for a minute now. You get me? So like, I'm talking fresh. I just remember them always making a comment about that. You get me? Like, had my little jerry curls, my little low cut hair, whatnot. You get me? Like, pretty boy, just on some fly shit. My mum just always made sure I was flying yard. So while I was in England now, it's easy. She didn't have to get no one to bring it. You get me? Like, it's straight away, bam. We go get that. You get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, that's early memories.
And how would you say, as far as the area, and obviously now you're, getting associated with now the locals, with you being someone who's come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
How would you say you was received by the people there? And as far as like noticing certain stuff about the area, like, I mean, what did that mean to you pretty much?
I mean, the first thing, bro, I'm around white people. I ain't seen nobody white in yard, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, my next door neighbor is a brother called Fraser. He was like my age group. I'll never forget his name. I don't remember his parents or anything. Big up Fraser, wherever he is in the world. I ain't seen him in years, you get me? Like, that was my local brethren, you get me? That I would run around with and do whatever I was playing or whatever it is. But I don't really remember any more friends other than Fraser. In terms of like, this is on an estate, like, so I'm moving on an estate. It's a block, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not like a big tower one, but it's one of those blocks that there's many different houses within it or whatnot. And it's in Lewisham, but at this point, immediately what I could tell you, violence weren't a thing that I saw immediately, but drug dealing was.
Okay. Straight
away, you get what I'm trying to say? But I've never been a stranger to that. So again, it weren't really like, it was just more me seeing how it's done in England. You know them ones? Like, that was immediate. You get me? Like, yeah, that was immediate.
All right, boom. So, if I can just take it back to like a little event sort of thing that happened back in the day, obviously South London orientated, but Damilola Taylor. Now, obviously in the year 2000, he was practically a child, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And he ended up being murdered. Obviously, from what if I'm not mistaken, it was a stab into the leg.
To the leg, yeah.
And so, You was in the same school as him?
Yeah.
So if we was to go back again, and I mean, what was the mood like around the area at that time? Because, you know, obviously looking back, me being a Londoner as well, this is something there's certain key things that always like stick with me, sort of thing, innit? And that's always gonna be a thing that I'm always gonna remember, given how young he was. You know what I mean? And it's like, are you actually physically being within
in
the
the
vicinity
school.
at the time? You know what I mean? Like, how did that affect you? Like, what was the mood, sort of thing?
I tell you one thing with Damilola's murder, right? Like, not only was I in school with him, and his murder is now nationwide, like worldwide, really. He's a 10-year-old that died. That went everywhere. From a stabbing at that, you get me? So that went everywhere. Not only is that happening within my school that I've just started, he died, again, fact check me, on the 27th of November. My birthday is on the 26th.
Mad.
So throughout primary school, I've never forgotten Damilola's murder, because it's always the day after my birthday. Yeah, you get me? So one of my cousins was in class with him. So Damilola's he's a couple years older than me.
Oh, he's older. Okay.
Yeah, he's a couple years older than me. But I remember I've defo seen him at some point within but he died pretty close to when I started. You get me? Like, my cousin and that was more damaged than I was, because they know him. You get me? Like, whereas me, I remember coming in school, seeing the thing on the news and all of that, but just feeling the energy around the school, the press, bare like flowers, and they're putting up all of the tribute stuff around the place and whatnot. But my thing was like, someone died. Oh, okay. You get me? Like,
so what's that, like a thing where like you're kind of, this is not new to you, basically?
It's definitely nothing new, but it was like, okay, people dying foreign as well.
Oh, so a realization that, okay.
Yeah, you get me? Like, in my mind, shit only happened in Jamaica.
Okay.
Because I don't know nothing else, you get me? So it's like, okay, cool. A child has died, and that was close to me too. You get me? And it's mad, because looking back, now that I know, like, I've watched stuff on his story and whatnot, he got over here the same way as me. It was the same thing. He came over young and just started that primary school. Our stories like were started very similar, and just, you get me, went a different way, obviously.
That's mad. I mean, like, you kind of as well, like, talking about the whole timeline thing, your birthday and when it happened, I mean, that's even more reason for it to never leave your mind. So that's crazy.
It stays, man. It stays.
That's crazy.
R.I.P. Damilola, man.
That's a fact. R.I.P. man, for sure, man. So if we can, obviously, going back to yourself, what was your first interest? If we're talking, obviously now you're residing in foreign, you're in South London. What's your interest, like, as far as being, you know, first residing where you are?
Early. If we're talking early, football and dancing. Because I'm from Yard, innit? So when I was on the dancing thing, this is Elephant Man, early days, pon the river, pon the bank. You know what I'm saying? We're out there, you get me? Like, young, but like, yeah, like football was like, you get me? Like, always been a Man United fan, like,
okay,
you get me? Like, from the jump.
And like, how far would you say that your ambitions took you? Like, was you like playing for teams? Was you
Yeah, for sure. So eventually, like, at that early stage, I just had the interest in football. Eventually played it, and then eventually they were saying I was half decent because I was playing for one and two little teams. You get me? Like, they were saying it, weren't me. You get me? Like, I'm in year 5 playing for the year 6s. It weren't me. You weren't me that chose that.
You saying you had
someone
like
chose it, it weren't me, but I was all right, is what they were saying. You get me? And then I guess from there, when you played for the year 6s, we then started to get scouted from like different like Sunday league teams or whatnot. I started playing for a football team called Waterloo FC. Now, they had like my age group, and then they have the year above, basically. And yeah, we made a lot of history, man. Like, the older team and that, like, I'm pretty sure the man them went, like, they did the Arsenal thing, like, whole season, no undefeated. And
Invincibles.
Invincible stuff. Like, the man them we did a lot of stuff for that team. You get me?
That's a local UK reference. You know what I mean?
You get me?
We got overseas viewership, but we want to make it clear.
Yeah.
The thing's called football. We don't know about soccer.
Yeah,
you know
the soccer thing. That's what you lot know. You get me? But we call it football.
That's
you get
a
me?
fact.
So
Football.
yeah, I was playing football, basically. Eventually from there, I started playing for London.
Okay.
So it was like all of the best Sunday teams, they like handpicked the players from each of those teams and then made them all represent London. So I was in that squad for my age group, basically. And yeah, of course, from there, the aspirations is like, I want to take this, I want to be a footballer.
Facts.
You get me? Like, I want to play for Man United. And yeah, them dreams got crushed eventually. You get me?
Why would you say that?
I'd say the first thing that probably crushed those dreams was realization. We were supposed to play, I think, a team in Paris. And obviously, to go to Paris, you have to travel. So now I've gone home like, all right, cool. Like, oh, I'm going to France. And it's like, no, you can't go. It's like, why? And that's the first time I found out I wasn't legal in the UK. Or I wouldn't even say that I wasn't legal, because I guess really I weren't understanding everything at that point. I just knew I couldn't leave and get back into the country. So I guess when I thought about that, it's like, but Man United played enough Champions League match. Them man fly to Spain. Them man do that. I can't do that. So realistically, like, I'm not going to be able to travel then.
Okay.
Not fuck football, but all right, cool. It's not like at this point now, I don't have a main driving force again. Them dreams got crushed the moment. It's like, all right, cool, I can't travel.
It's interesting that you say that, as far as you sort of getting wind of how your immigration status is basically a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's not basically feasible for you to sort of travel.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you caught wind of this information, how much did you pursue in order to? I mean, I'm assuming you was very young.
Yeah, I'm young.
So you can't really, like, you know what I mean. But so it didn't really mean nothing to you at that point.
All it meant was, I guess I'm not gonna be a footballer. Like,
okay, you didn't understand the severity.
At this point, it's just like, cool, I guess I'm not gonna be a footballer. You get me? And I guess like, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna leave the country and come back into the country or whatnot. But again, that could be just me saying that now. If from my memory, I wasn't thinking about shit. I just went to school the next day and I was still kicking ball. You get me? I was still playing for my teams or whatnot. But I was just now aware, okay, cool. I'm not the same as my brethren that were born here. So I can't move the same as my brethren that were born here. Cause them men are going France to go play. You get me? Like, yeah. I was very much aware as well that I can't let them know the reason why I can't come to the match either. You get me?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, already you being young and having to face that type of,
you know what I mean? It's like, don't tell your brethren why you can't go to the match.
That's a lot for some young shoulders.
Figure something out. You get me? Figure something out. Come up with something. Tell the coach, you're not going.
Yeah. Can you remember the excuse that you come up with?
Nah.
I feel you. But yeah, as I said, that's a lot for some young shoulders though. Like thinking about it, like, it's a lot kind of thing. Yeah. So when did the music start, would you say?
Music started shortly after that. One of my older brothers, he had a studio in the house, and he was like my favorite brother, you get me? So whatever he was doing is what I was gonna be on doing. It just so happened he was doing music. He lived in America for a while as well. So when he got to the UK and he's rapping and all of that, I'm just his protege. I'm in the studio. If he's writing a song, or if he's recorded a song and he doesn't remember what he called it on a different day, I could tell him what the name of the song was. If he can't remember a bar that he wrote, I could tell you, I was there, you get me? This is where I'm now, watching him engineer himself, watching him record the songs himself, sampling stuff. Like, literally, I'm like a fly in the wall, just watching my brother, my favorite brother, you get what I'm trying to say? So I'd say the music thing came from there, when one day he said to me, do an 8-bar on this song. Like,
and how old would you say you was at that time?
10. Yeah, I'm like 10, but I remember it being a thing. Like, I've recorded, everyone's come upstairs to listen, you get? It's just like,
no pressure, basically.
Yeah, you get me? Like, I just remember that was what the reaction was. It's like, you get me? He held his own, he did his thing, you get me? Yeah.
Do you know what's mad? Like, obviously, for those unlike myself, innit, like, looking back at your career, the one thing that's the absolute madness to me is considering how young you was and sort of the heights you achieved at the age you was. I mean, even saying right now, being 10 years old and being told to write an 8-bar, I mean, that's not something that's every day said to a 10-year-old, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if we talk about like your influences, obviously you say about your brother, you know what I mean? So like, what was you listening to at the time in order to give you the you know what I mean, the inspiration to want to go and rap?
Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent.
Big album.
You get me? That for my age group, that album is like a staple for us. You get me? Like that's the first album I've gone and bought and all of that. You get me? Like listening to him. Who else? I'd say, to be honest with you, this is why I feel like the music I make has always been different to the rest of the UK artists. Or just artists in general, even the US ones, like some of the US ones, is because as much as I was listening to 50, I was listening to Celine Dion. I was listening to Westlife, and I'm listening to Whitney Houston, and then I'm listening to Dennis Brown and Bob Marley. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, so when I turned that into music, I approach it from many different places, even in terms of how to structure the song. Like in the 50 Cent songs, like most of them don't have a bridge, but there's gonna be a bridge in the soul songs that Mariah Carey or any of them are doing. So it's like within my rap songs, I find a way to like, what would a bridge sound like if I did it in the middle of a verse? Or I was just always approaching it from different places.
Intricacies, like
yeah, you get me. So I'd say definitely those as experiences. 50 Cent, like from the rap side of stuff, and I just remember not liking grime music.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
So I mean, grime music is obviously the sound coming from London.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're from London.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would assume at that time this was a moment in time where this genre of music was dominating
everywhere.
When it was only thing you was hearing.
It's the only thing you hear. It's the culture.
Facts.
You get me?
So,
any of the kids that were a little bit older than me, that's what they're listening to. You're hearing it because you have to hear it. It's everywhere. And I did not like it.
So why? Any particular reason why?
I didn't understand why they were making sound effects. I didn't. You get me? I didn't understand. They were just going fast. It was like slow down, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get it. But funny enough, fast forward. So for time, I didn't get it. I got it one day. Wiley took me to Eskimo dance. Basically, I don't know if it's that he heard me say I don't get it. And I just remember him like him picking me up one day, and we've gone to like an Eskimo dance, and like he's got me into the building, and I'm upstairs in like the VIP section. So I'm looking down at the crowd and on the stage, and that was it. He just left me there. So now I'm here, and I got it because this is my first time being in a building, seeing it. I was like, oh shit! I remember feeling it. I was like, okay. Especially when they're doing the wheel ups and all of that. I'm thinking, so that's similar to dancehall culture. Like I got it at that point, but that was years later. Yeah, I remember just not really feeling the grime thing, and then I guess Giggs is the first time I then heard someone slow it down in the accent. Well, to me at the time, I thought grime was how British people rap. So to me, that's rap music.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I'm thinking, now this is what they sound like. When they rap, they just rap faster than Americans. And I just preferred the slower rap, basically. Yeah.
I mean, that's a great segue, because what I wanted to also say next anyway was that given also the associating with South London, you got a man like Giggs. If we're looking at him today, he's probably like one of the biggest exports from where we're from, innit? I mean, and rightly so, because it's like what you were just breaking down not too long ago, like as far as the style of rapping and the style of music, this brother came true and basically slowed the tempo down a little bit as far as how he's rapping, and basically took the whole world with him, practically, or at least our world, didn't it? Like over here. I mean, talking the hardest, how the way that impacted when that landed. I mean, I'm not from South myself personally, but I know what the sort of the mood and the theme was when that dropped in it. So I mean, you coming from South, you coming from basically local, just like Giggs. I mean, if we can go back to that time when obviously Giggs is bubbling and talking the hardest dropped, like what was the mood and the feel?
Right. So there's not a lot of people within UK rap history that's got a work rate like Giggs. And man, they're bare mixtapes. You get me? So I've caught on late. So when I've discovered Giggs during the Hard Bodied mixtape, which is the mixtape that Talking the Hardest is on, to show you. So the noise is ringing. This is how it's now got to me. You get me? And this is the first time I'm able to hear someone rap in a British accent slower than what the grime lot were doing.
Your preference, basically.
And I'm like, rah, fuck with this. And yeah, it wasn't Talking the Hardest Talking the Hardest is a separate moment in itself. That Hard-Bodied mixtape is the moment, you get what I'm trying to say? Because leading up, I got the lead up to Hard-Body. Like, so when I first started hearing about him, like, I'm getting sent Bluetooth songs in the playground. Like, man, are sending, but every day I go to school, I could get at least 2 new gigs that I've never heard before. You see what I'm saying? So I got that, and then like getting like the history of the rappers within Peckham. I'm hearing Colours, I'm hearing Slumps, you understand? I'm getting everybody, Swift from OTB. I'm hearing everything. I'm just catching up. Then he's dropped this project with Dubs. You understand? Hard-Bodied. Mad project.
Taking it back right
yeah,
now.
you understand? Like, I'm hearing this
yeah.
live, fam. You get what I'm trying to say? And obviously, like, I'm in Peckham while this is out now. So we're hearing it live. You get what I'm trying to say? And then Talking the Hardest, obviously, was like a standout track on the project. And it was just everywhere, blood. You get me?
I mean, to just even reiterate how impactful this song is, like, as far as London is concerned, like, that pretty much sums up the whole entire attitude, the whole 100%.
Feel. I mean, we call it the national anthem.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I mean, I don't see why it can't. If there's a petition up there, I'm gonna do 10 signatures, bro. That's a fact, bro.
Anywhere you drop that, you gotta be real. Like, and man, no chorus.
Nothing. Just
no chorus, cuz the man's barring for minutes. and it's like no chorus, but every section is a chorus. Everyone's singing it like it's the chorus. You get me?
Man could even hear the instrumental
now,
and man are just going in
right
you
now.
Know what I mean,
right
it's
now,
nice, man. Big up Giggs for real, man. Like 30. So, I mean, at this point also, like you started making tunes as well. You started basically not so much testing the waters, but you was just feeding the streets, kind of thing, putting out material. So, I mean, even there was a song with Giggs that you done, called Treachery, I believe. And what bugged me out is that you was 15 years old doing this tune with Giggs. I mean, the biggest rapper in the country has done a song with yourself. You know what I mean? Talk to me about the mood. That, I mean, was you nervous? Like, or was it a thing where you lot was in the same studio? Or
same studio. This is old school. This is no sending.
That must have been nervy, at least a little bit. I mean, 15 years old.
I'll be real with you. Like, you see me and my man, like, I don't really work well with nerves and fear. The moment I detect any of that, I just sprint towards it, you get me? So I remember that being a case, like, raw, you're going on a song with Hollow, you get me? You get me? Like, it was less of like, raw shit, like, I weren't thinking about it at all. Like, I'm in it, so I'm not thinking about it. It's just like, we're going studio, we're working on a mixtape. Me and my brethren Scully, who's going by the name LP at the time, you get me? Like, we're working on the mixtape. We're getting the man from the ends that rap on there. We're gonna get Hollow on there. You get me? Obviously, immediately for me, I'm gonna get on a song with Giggs, fam. Are you mad? You get me?
So what? It was the who basically
how everything's patterned. It's the ends, innit?
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Scully is brethren's with one of Giggs' brothers, basically. Scully's man's people's. You get me? So just being in and around the ends and places, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, not everybody could, even where we recorded it, not everybody could go there to record, you see what I'm trying to say? And at this point, man's doing a mixtape and man's also getting it hosted by a DJ Big Ride. So again, this is like momentum for me in the streets as well, where the music was concerned, because Big Ride is who's hosting all of them Giggs mixtapes. He's doing the same Hard-Bodied one with Dubs. So now I'm going from the kid in the playground who's hearing all of this stuff to being in the room with the actual people. But I don't remember ever having a moment where it's like, raw, that's my man. Like, the combos are just normal. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, man was just in there rapping. There was Hennessy in the building. Man's in Unit 10. It's the jungle. You don't want to go in there on the wrong day. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, and it was just, it's normal. I just remember, man, doing that. And when that, all right, to show you how mad that was, I remember the day man's done that tune, it's like, it was a daytime session. It wasn't like a night one, I don't think. And there's a shubs, there's a party, there's a little step out, a little dance happening in the ends in Peckham later on that night. And by the time I've left the studio, we finished the song, and I've gone, probably grabbed the food or something. By the time I've got to that dance later on in the night, everyone knew that I've done a song with him. The song, no one's heard it yet, so no one's even heard it
So
yet.
word just
Yeah,
spread
you
quick,
get me. Like,
like,
I
yeah.
remember, like I'm walking through Yellow Brick. One of my them like, bro, I heard you done a tune with my man. This is on the way to the. You get what I'm trying to say? So obviously, it's a big deal for me as a youth. The fact that man's done a song with him, you get me, in that time as well, because, and that's one thing, like everybody has to give to him. He was giving the ends verses, you get me? Like he and that played a part in his work rate as well, you get what I'm trying to say? Like everywhere you turned, you was gonna hear a Giggs verse, you get me?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm an avid believer that there's no accidents. Do you know what I mean? So I look at someone like Giggs and I see his success, right? It's not an accident. Like it's a thing where it's a testimony of who he is. You know what I mean? Even going back to yourself, I mean, 15 years old and just telling man, yo, come on and just get on this song. That is a big look.
No,
bro.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Because
Like,
again, even though I'm saying he's giving out verses, you weren't giving them out to any and anybody. You still had to be inside of a certain world in order to even get access to that. You get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, no, 100%.
most definitely. Yeah, so I mean, as I said, so you're basically doing your thing, putting out the music, you know what I mean? You had your tape, little bit of Cashh as well, that obviously gained its traction and got success. But just sort of go a little bit left, as far as like me chatting to my people as well, and I'm letting them know, like, what's your favorite Cashh memory, you know what I mean? On a common consensus kind of thing, innit? Where we're just trying to basically like give out ideas regarding yourself.
Yeah.
And it's almost unanimous as far as all of them remember that freestyle for SBTV.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So 17-year-old Cashh, you know what I mean? With the shades and the, you know what I mean? You know which one I'm talking about, innit?
Which one?
So what are you saying? No, you can't recall?
There's a few of them.
F64.
The F64. Oh, yeah, nah,
Yeah.
do you know what? That's what I'm saying. Do you know, all right, do you know why it's mad you saying that?
It's unanimous, bro.
But this is what I'm saying. Watch this now. Watch this now. That's within your brethren, your friendship group. You see, if you ask a different, basically that's when we've kicked into a second gear.
Okay.
There was a gear that even we had to get into a certain place to even get an F64. So some people
Talk about it.
It was the first one was like the Champions Freestyle. That's Link Up TV. So we've gone and we've done the Champion Freestyle, which is basically like Chris Brown and Chipmunk song. And I've done like my own version of it basically like on the freestyle platform. It's through there and just mashing bare other works. Jamal Edwards, SBTV gave me the call basically. But when he gave me the call, that was like a new wave of like a load of new people recognizing who I am, which is when you lot came in.
I mean, it's like, as far as his reach is concerned, obviously,
that's where it was.
SB's got a bigger reach.
That's where it was.
Link Up
No,
at the time,
especially at that time. Yeah, of course. That's where it was. That's where it was, basically. Like, to get to SBT, on SBTV at the time, you had to have some credentials, basically. So it's like, you go through the Link Up TVs. If that does well, you might get the call from my man to come and do F64. Like, because I remember the year before, watching different people's F64, like, fuck man, like I need to get on there.
But you know, I'll be real with you, my brother. Even as a freestylers as a whole, there's only certain freestyles that the man them remember. And it's almost like unanimous, as I said. Like you got your K Coke on Charlie, your Nines on Charlie, and man always mention the Cashh on the SBTV, or real shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean? So I mean, what did that take you to? Would you say like gave you even more like acknowledgement, recognition?
Definitely, because again, like when I look back, a lot of these things are happening like back to back to back. So by the time I've done the F64, I've already put out 2 mixtapes, and within those mixtapes, those 2 mixtapes alone, I've worked with most of the UK rap foundation. You get what I'm trying to say? Like from your Blade Browns, I'm still in school. When I've worked with Giggs, I've worked with Blade Brown, I've worked with, at this time, I've worked with Femfel, Fix Dot'em, Youngster, Dubs, who did the mixtape with Giggs. Do you understand? Like, I've worked with the majority of the game at that point, and Morrison. So I've already got the street credential side of things. Like, it's like if you're climbing up out of the trenches, I've already climbed out of this bit, and each time in my career, I'm going up and up and up and up. So I'd say the F64 was definitely a time that segued me into industry now. Because obviously SBTV, this is like a first platform. And Ed Sheeran, bro. You get what I'm trying to say? Ed Sheeran's on the same platform at the same time. And look at Ed, you get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah.
I mean, that was a big look. And as far as like, you know, barbershop talk anyway, when we're talking about freestyle, that's the one, like, you know what I mean? People are like, yo, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I mean, at this point, it's fair to say you're on fire, pretty much. You know what I mean? You got your mixtapes doing well, your freestyles obviously going through the roof. And it went long before the label started knocking and you signed a deal with Universal, I believe.
Yeah. So basically what happened was I did a publishing deal with Universal. I didn't do a record deal with them. Again, we were trying to make sure that the situation was right. You get me? So it took them maybe 2 years to sign me. We were just doing back and forths. Me making sure that I can get access to what they're saying I'm going to have access to eventually. I mean, not even what they're saying, but what I feel like if I'm coming to these meetings with you lot and I'm playing you lot the tunes that we're doing, I'm like, Rob, I swear that producer is saying to you, like, what, can't get in a session with my, you understand? So we're doing sessions now with producers that are already signed and it's Universal. So you're having producers from America come over, they don't have a clue who the fuck I am, just like I don't have a clue who the fuck they are. But in our respectful worlds, we're people, you get what I'm trying to say? So we're getting sessions, we're having conversations they're from the States, I'm from the UK, we're having conversations, I'm teaching them stuff, they're teaching me stuff. So the music we're making is just different. Universal obviously hearing all of the music from the session, so one day it's just kind of like, yo, basically we want to sign you to the publishing. And yeah, we eventually signed that.
Nice. Well, I mean, well deserved, bro, isn't it? Like putting in work. I mean, if we can even take a second to consider your age at that point. So when you signed, how old was you?
That deal there. Probably around what, 18? Yeah.
18 years old.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
maybe around
it's not
18.
something you hear every day. Do you
Like
know what
maybe
I mean?
like 18, because the works that I mashed at 17 got me to do at 18.
Do you know, I mean, even the track record alone is crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like now, 18 years old, you signing a deal. I mean, that's a bit more than a pat on the back. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's something that you gotta really like. It's crazy. When you put it in perspective, it's like, like you've done a lot. Like even to this point, you know what I mean? So I mean, so you're signed now, and if I'm not mistaken, it's at this point where there's some adversity that started to begin to sort of come about with yourself, as far as immigration now. So from when you signed, obviously it had already been publicized as far as you signing to Universal. No.
So basically what's happened is I've signed a deal and again, nonchalant, I'm just getting straight to the work. I've forgotten to tell anybody that I'm signed. So I've told them a whole year later. The moment I've publicly said I'm signed, that's when the adversity started. You get me?
Okay.
Yeah, like I think I might have said it in a song. Like, I ain't gonna sleep. What did I say? I said something like, death is unexpected. I could be like 10 smiles to. Death is unexpected. I could be like 10 smiles away. I ain't gonna sleep. I swear to God, I'm gonna grind today. Oh, I just signed a deal with Universal, by the way. So I just dropped that in there in like a tune, basically. So that's now like my announcement, but that happened like a year later. So that's then flying everywhere or whatnot. Like, Cashh signs deal with Universal. Woke up to a text from my A&R at the time, like, yo, like 8 immigration officers have just stormed into the Universal building, top floor, and said that you need to get in touch with them. Fuck. I'm thinking, right? I don't know how to respond to that text. You get me? Like, don't know how to respond to that text. So, after that announcement, it's when I guess publicly shit just started going left. But to be honest with you, things are happening in regards to immigration before that. So, like I said, I didn't know that I couldn't travel back in the day until I found out. Couldn't play the match in France against Paris. And in between that, confusion had come in because I had received my national insurance number. They had sent it to me just like they send it to everyone else. So now, all of my friends who are born in the UK, they're receiving their national insurance number the same time I did. So I thought Oh, okay, so it's sorted now then. So now from that moment on, I think I'm cool in the country. I think I could travel. I think I'm good. I'm good. So when that happened, obviously it threw me off guard. I knew obviously I need to try and sort my papers out in regards to maybe I can't leave the country and come back, but I'm cool to be here. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, that was like a
I mean, as
yeah.
far as something that you should be celebrating,
Yeah.
as far as a milestone, you know, being signed, you know, achieving something that people, when they do music, they set out to achieve.
Yeah.
And you've achieved it. So a man should be popping bottles, going crazy, doing backflips, you know what I mean? But thing just went left. Like, it just went completely sour, bro.
It's mad.
So now you got to get in touch with immigration. So what's your actions as far as, you know, obviously fulfilling this?
Well, basically, they've left their number and they're basically saying, get in touch with them ASAP. Like, ASAP. So now we're thinking, okay, cool. At this point, I'm probably doing the most shows out of every UK artist. You understand? So it's like, do I want them to come to one of my shows? Yeah, let me get that number, cuz. Hey, shout them, man. Fuck it, you get me? So I phoned them and basically they've called me in for an interview about what's happening with my status within the country, basically.
So you've contacted them and they basically told you, obviously, your papers are not in order.
Yeah.
Right? So what was the sort of the conclusion at that point? What did they tell you had to do?
Well, at this point, I feel like I've already put in an application. Like prior to them getting in touch, I feel like I've put in an application. So when I've because that's it. International bookings are coming in now. So we're getting bookings in Africa, early bookings in Dubai, like, and can't take any of these bookings, right?
Yeah, shit's getting real, basically.
Yeah, so
now,
it's like, yo, all right, cool. We need to sort this out, basically. So I'd put in an application, and when I've put the application in, that's pending while I've announced the universal thing or whatnot. Then they've got in touch. I've gone to the interview, and basically within the interview, it's like, okay, cool. You've put yourself on our radar by putting in an application. Like, how did you get here? When did you get here? Just an interview, basically building up a story of my immigration history. And I'm selling it to them. I'm like, yo, like, you get me? Like, been here from young, I'm an inspiration to the youths. You get me? Like, they're selling it to them. Like, I do music, I'm a musician, etc., etc., etc.
A successful one.
A successful one.
What I mean?
You understand? Like, so at this point now, I feel like I had switched the name to Cashtastic in case this moment happened. So earlier on, the songs with Giggs, all of that early work rate, it weren't Cashtastic yet. It was just Cashh.
Oh, okay.
Right? That's what the streets called me. So that's just what the name just was within the music.
And that's in reference to your name, Kashif.
Right. Yeah, that's in reference to my name, Kashif. So it's like, all of that works I was putting in under the name Cashh, the music and the content was obviously, that's some street shit, you get me? Like, and then man was talking bait and doing crazy things. So I always had it in my mind, like, if the day should come that immigration come knocking, they can't see any of this content. So that's where the Cashtastic thing came in now. So now all of the songs on the Cashtastic were a bit less violent.
Got you.
Just in case this day happened and then this day happened. So now I can comfortably sit in front of them and say, yeah, I do music, because they're never going to see the Cashh stuff because they're not going to search Cashh.
Makes sense.
They're going to search Cashtastic. They're going to see Gaston the Rave with Krypton Conan and all of these. They're going to see nice songs. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
And I respect it. Like, yeah, I mean, you sort of covered your tracks pretty well.
Just in case that rainy day came, and it came, you get me?
So what was the agreement that you had with immigration as far as you resolving whatever discrepancy that they have? Like, so what's the agreement now?
It was basically, the conclusion after that interview was done was, you have an application in already. So while that's pending, you just have to report to the immigration center like once a month, basically. So every month you come, you sign in. It won't just be you. In fact, no, they didn't tell me it won't just be me. They were just like, oh, you come, you sign on and whatnot. I had people known people that have been in the immigration system. So I knew what signing on to the immigration center and all of that stuff was, but I didn't know what that looked like. Blood. Remember, I'm in the public eye, fam. Like, you get me? Like, When I got there for my first sign-on, I'm thinking, blood, the line went outside of the building.
Are you serious?
And everybody in these are all immigrants.
And man, not waiting just to check in. Like
Everyone's just waiting. They give you like time slots, right? So it's like you might be signing on from 9 till 10. If you get there anytime after 10, you've missed your slot because your name isn't on the batch that are gonna turn up from 10 to 11. So if you miss that signing on, then they have it that you're on the run now. We told you to come here and you didn't come. Oh, so you're violating us then. You're basically saying, you're basically running. It's fucked, fam. You get me? Like, so I remember just being there and I'm in the line.
Brother, like 1 second though, wait there, literally, because you're Cashh at this point.
Bro.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so you're queuing up to get into this center.
Shades.
How you say it? Just
everything on, cuz. Everything on. I'm like, I can't let no one see me, bro. This is gonna go mad. You get me? Like,
did someone never actually notice you and be like, yo, Cashh, like, what go on? Like?
Do you know what's mad? Throughout my whole time, like the time frame that I signed on for, only one person clocked me, right?
No way.
Because this is the thing, like when you get in there, right? These have to come off. Glasses, hoodie, everything has to come off. You put everything in a tray like you're going to the airport. And then you're all lining up now. You get to like the desk.
Yeah.
You give the name. They just click on the computer. Okay, cool, you've signed in. You can go now. You get what I'm trying to say? So I just remember going in one day. We've both seen each other same time, but it was one of the man them from the end. You get me?
Oh, shit.
One of the man them from the end just like looking at each other. Yeah, there's that little nod. You don't say that, I won't say that because yeah, and to be fair, yeah, I ain't seen him since, so he might have got sent back. You get me? But
so a man you knew from your area.
Yeah.
You see him over there. And
yeah, but he weren't even like, it wasn't like me and him are brethren. He was like, he was one of the gang members. You get me? Like, but he was like, he's a little bit older than me. So we both know of each other. We see each other in Peckham almost every day. But we've never like engaged in loads of conversation. We've spoken, but it's not like I've got his number or he's got my number. And I think at this point it makes sense because he had gone jail. So I think he's come out of jail and now he has to sign on. So it's mad even story-wise because I know this youth to be like, he's one of the members. He's gone jail. Now I'm seeing him signing on and I ain't seen him since. So I don't even know what happened with his life story after that. Crazy.
Madness.
You get me?
Complete and utter madness, bro. Like, I mean...
I ain't seen him since that day, bro. And I ain't heard none of his brethrens. I still see his brethrens in the end.
And what, they don't know nothing
I've never heard none of the man them say anything in regards to his name, but he was one of them that was around them every day. You get me? So if he did get sent back, then them man, you get me? Them man, they're just gone now, you get me?
I mean, like, up until this point, like, I think it's safe to say nothing's easy with you, and like as far as experiences, do you know what I mean? Like you're really going through your paces, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a whole, it's a whole.
So okay, so you're checking into this place now. So what progressed as far as you checking in now, and then obviously what was the events after that?
All right, so I've signed once. I had my taxi waiting outside. There weren't no Uber. This is when you had to actually call a cab. And wait for the cab and tell the cab to wait for you outside. Now, I don't know how long I'm gonna be. So he's waiting outside. This first signing on, the process is long. By the time I've signed and come out, my taxi's gone, fam. Pissed. And we're waiting, you get me? Pissed, you get me? So next week I've gone and signed, and I signed a couple times basically. And then one day I've gone and they're saying, you have an interview around the back today. But the thing is, they made you know that your application is pending, but the decision on your application is going to be made on one of the days you come and sign in. So if your application is successful when you're going to get your visa to be in the country legally, you'll find out on a day you come in. But also, if it's been refused, you'll find out on a day that you come in. So you're already in their building. You can't leave. There's security and everything. So when they're telling me that I've got an interview around the back, that could mean either of the two.
You don't know, basically.
My taxi's outside. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm thinking, fuck, all right, cool. I don't know what to feel. Is this a good thing? You get me? Like, am I going to go in there and this is my day now? You get me? I have like a second of that, and then I have a second of blood. But what if it's not though? Like, what if they've actually turned it down?
It's facts.
And like, fuck, shit. You can't have your phones. Shit. Who's gonna know? I ain't told nobody nothing. Like, rare. So, all right, cool. Gone in there. And it's an interview with the Jamaican High Commission. Now, during this interview, all the questions he's asking me is about life in Jamaica. He's like, what primary school did you go to? I'm like, fam, I don't know. You know how young I got here, fam? I don't know. He's asking me like, rah, where your family from? This, that. Now I realize he was just trying to build a profile and a life for me in Jamaica because they didn't know nothing. You get what I'm trying to say? But everything he's asking me, I don't know. I genuinely just didn't know any of the questions he was asking, the answers to the questions he was asking me. Then it was kind of like, all right, cool. All right, you're free to go. So I've gone out and it's like, fam, that was mad. You get me? So from there, I'm like, all right, cool. Anytime I sign on now, someone has to be with me. Just waiting outside in the taxi or whatever. One, so the taxi don't go, and two, just in case if I don't come out within a certain time, at least you lot know something's gone wrong or whatever. And I've gone in there one day. My girl was in the taxi waiting for me. I've gone in there. You have an interview around the back again. But remember, the last time I've gone there, I didn't know where it was going to go, and it kind of didn't go either way. You understand? They didn't tell me you got your visa, but they also didn't say your application got refused. So for me, it was like, all right, cool. I don't know what this is going to mean today again. The last one was all right, though. You understand? Like, I'm thinking more, all right, I'm going to be accepted for my application because they asked me questions about Jamaica and I never had shit to tell them. So you can't send me back to a place that I clearly don't know anything of. So I'm more like, okay, cool. You got interview round? Yeah, cool, no problem. Gone round there, you are being detained. Nah. Yeah, like you're being detained. We're going to put you in a detention center. You have one phone call, so you can call someone and let them know. They've given me a card, and the card had the location of where the detention center is or the name on there or whatever. And it's like, yeah, just phone your people. Phone, you got one person to phone. Phone who you need to phone, and let them know you're being detained. So I'm like, so what do you mean though? Like, what's happening here? Like this can't happen. My girl's outside, the taxi's outside, my phone's in the locker thing. Like, you lot have, like, where? It's like, yeah, you're being detained, basically. So when you get to the detention center, everything will be explained to you. And bro, that was it. Like, at that point, I'm there now, just sat in there waiting. And I'm sat in there waiting.
So just like to be clear, when they say you're being detained,
yeah.
Do they have like a vicinity within that building where they keep man that are just basically...
No.
So they're transporting you to somewhere else?
It's basically like they're sending me to jail.
Oh, okay.
Realistically, that's where it is. I'm just in this building. For example, let's say like you're on probation and you go sign on at your probation place. You have to go in the probation building. So while you're in the building, they're telling you you're being recalled. So you don't get to go back outside. They're saying to you, you're going to jail. You're going back to jail, basically. So I'm in the building, and it's not like you're locked in any cells or anything. It's just a normal building, right? So you're kind of like you're at the back of the building, and you're just sat until they've collected everybody who's being detained that day. So you're there for hours. I can't remember. I think my time might have been from maybe 11 to 12. That might have been my slot. So I'm there from between 11 and 12 p.m. And I don't know what time their last thing might be at 5. So I'm in the black until 5 o'clock, basically. And
Mad.
It's fucked because this is the middle of my campaign for my project, Alarm Clock.
Yeah, I mean, the timing couldn't have been any worse, innit?
Bro, like literally, today I can't be detained today. I gotta go and link Mr. Jam. I'm going on the radio station, BBC One Extra. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's important stuff. Like, all of the stuff we spoke about earlier, from the working with gigs, putting in the work, mixtapes. Mr. Jam is a big DJ, blood. I finally have an opportunity to go on his show. And you lot are detaining me today. And I can't tell Mr. Jam either. We can't tell nobody my situation. So we're going to have to come up with some excuse to why I'm not taking this opportunity that I am being granted. You get what I'm trying to say? So crazy, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, as I said, bro, the timing of everything. I mean, you having an opportunity, you got a deal now, you're signed artist on top of your game, you know what I mean? And it's like at this point where you should be really further establishing
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
you got this mad adversity, bro. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, you know, it's only telling, this a testimony to who you are as a character, I mean, you know what I mean? But I mean, we're gonna get to that anyway, as far as the outcome, you know what I mean? So as far as like what led up to the actual deportation, like what was the events that led up to you? Now they're telling you, you know what, boom, it's a dipping thing basically.
Right. So as I said, I'm mid-campaign for my album basically at the time, my project at the time, which means there's loads of different marketing stuff that we've arranged to happen. Hence me going on the One Extra show on BBC, all of these things. They're all lined up, right? Mid-campaign, the project's out in a week. I've been detained the week before. So I'm now in the detention center. They've transported me. I'm in the detention center and it's prison. It's basically prison. You get me? Like, and I'm in here. Everyone in here knows who I am. Everyone.
You know what? Yeah, that's the key thing as well. Like I was gonna say, like they must have
Everyone's
recognized.
confused.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing in there? You get what I'm trying to
yeah.
say? Because it's not like prison. It's not like if an artist goes to prison, he could be in there for anything. You're in a detention center, bro. You are illegal in this country.
Specifics, like
specifically. You're about to leave any minute now. You know what I'm trying to say? You get me? And then what's made it mad is because I'm mid-campaign, my songs are playing on the radio. So I'm walking on the wing.
Way.
I'm walking on the wing. I can hear that radio station playing my song. I can hear the DJ like, oh, this is Cashh-tastic's new song. Coming from his new project, Alarm Clock. He's going to have a big year ahead of him. And I'm thinking, blood, you don't even know where the fuck I am right now. I walk on another, like, past another man's cell. He's watching the TV. That's my music video on the TV. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's weird for people to, as much as a lot of people knew who I was, it's a different world in there. So there's a lot that didn't know who I was as well. A lot of elder people.
And they're looking at their TV and thinking, wow, is that the man that just walked past?
I literally see a man like,
you get it,
like, I walked past his cell. He's obviously facing the TV. So I think it was a brother from where was he from? He was from India. He's not seen that I've walked past the cell while he's watching the TV. But as I was in there, every other moment I look at him, he's looking at me, trying to, like, I know why he's looking, you get me? He doesn't know I've seen that he's seen the video.
Yeah.
But every now and then he's like, I know I've seen this guy's face before, but yeah, bro, crazy. So I'm in there and they slid a letter in my cell basically saying, your flight has been booked.
What, they slid a letter in your cell?
Yeah. So let's say that I got to the detention center tonight. When I woke up in the morning, a letter has come underneath my cell, picked up the letter, and it basically said you have a meeting downstairs. I've gone downstairs, I've gone into the office with the gov or whoever is in there basically, and it's like, and people aren't human being, bro. No, nothing in them, like no emotions, no nothing. It's like, right, so a flight has been booked for you, and basically you have between this time and this time to speak with your lawyer and arrange stuff in terms of clothes and all of that stuff with your family or whatever it is. But yeah, the fax machine is over there. But yeah, your flight's booked. Next.
Like that, like clockwork, like.
I'm like, yeah, I got questions. Yeah, speak to your lawyer. Next.
Crazy.
I'm walking back. Now you can picture it like a fucking film, bro. I'm walking out of there. I'm walking out of that office, looking at the thing like confused, past a queue of everyone that came in last night, about to go into that same fucking office, bro. Them man are looking at me. I could see them looking at me like, what the fuck did he get? I'm looking at my thing, walking back to my cell like that. I'm looking at the date. I'm like, that's the same day my shit's supposed to come out. That's the same day the project's supposed to drop.
No way.
What the fuck?
So they're dipping you on the day.
On the release date of the project, bro.
Crazy.
Remember, I'm mid-campaign, fam. So obviously the first Speedy Gonzalez, get that lawyer right now. Bro, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do, bro. Well, you need to do something ASAP, man. You get me? Like, bro, So now, like, going through like different paperwork, a lot of money, spending this, that. Eventually applied for bail, got bail. Like, there's obviously a build up to that. I could give you that, but like, I've got bail. Long story short, they gave me bail, and my only bail condition was they were trying to get more. Like, the prosecutor was basically saying to the judge, like, yo, this guy's been arrested for attempted murders. This guy, like, they're bringing up incidents from in the school playground. You get me? Like, things I got excluded from school for. Like, they're talking crazy. They're talking like he's been arrested for knives, weed. Like, you don't want to give him bail, basically. You get me? Like, judges said to me, like, oh, what do you have to say about this? I'm saying, like, Your Honor, all of those are no further action cases. I never got charged for any of these things. You get me? So clearly it had nothing to do with me. So he's looking back at the prosecutor now. They're saying, yeah, we had a feeling he'd say that. Basically, there's witness statements of him. They've spoken about some incident of me going into a place and letting everyone know that if anyone speaks, what I'm gonna do to them and rare. So they're basically saying to the judge, like, the only reason why he never got charged is because of witness intimidation and all these type of things.
But I mean, as far as legalities is concerned, a man needs to come with some evidence from when they're gonna say that.
But this is it. You get me? So when they're saying all of that, the judge is like, well, if that's all you got, then cool. Next. You get me? So the judge was saying to me, he was literally saying to me, like, he doesn't, looking at my paperwork and everything, he doesn't understand why I'm in this situation. He said, if today was based on me, like, granting you your visa, I would give it to you, but it's not. It's based on whether or not I'll give you bail. So I'm going to give you bail, basically go and sort your stuff out.
So what, the bail, was it a mad thing or like?
So my only bail condition is to do the same reporting. You understand? The prosecutor was trying to get me on, like, my ankle bracelet, my tag.
Monitors and that.
You understand? They're trying to get me on loads of different things. The judge is saying none of that's necessary. He just needs to report once a week. So that's my only condition, right? My only bail condition.
Bit of a break, innit? Like,
You understand? Yeah. So I've come out now, and the day before going to sign on, this is my only thing. My only bail condition is to still sign on to them once a week. So the day before I go to sign on, obviously tomorrow is important. It's my first thing. So I've made sure I've gone bed early, the taxi, everything's patterned. You understand who's gonna come with me, all of that. I get there, bro. You're being detained. What? You're being detained. Yeah, but for what? For breaching your bail condition. I'm saying, but my only bail condition is to report here, which is where I am right now. And it's not like I'm late or anything. Like, I'm early. I'm probably first in line, bro. You get me? This shit's important. I weren't trying to get sent back to the detention center. So I'm here on time. Like, what do you mean I've breached my bail condition? My bail condition is to report to you lot, and I'm here right now. I'll speak to whoever you need to speak to when you get to the detention center. And that was it. This time they've shipped me further to a far detention center. Like, they basically shipped me to Dover prison, bro. You get me? Like,
so you had no say over them, these accusations about you and your, violating your bail. Like, is there, you can't even tell them, like, yo, like.
I'm trying to, and they're telling me they're not the ones to tell. The person I should tell is at the place I'm being sent to. So speak to them when you get there. No names, they ain't told me who the person is. Like, when you get there, figure that shit out. But I'm just here doing my job. They hit you with it, I'm just doing my job. Crazy. You get me? Like, I'm just doing my job. So obviously I'm like, the fuck? My mind is spun now. We spent a lot of bread to get me back out here on these streets. Basically, you're being detained again for breaching your bail condition. Is what, long story short, they were saying to me. Before you know it, I'm back in the van again, getting transferred to a different detention center. Now, this detention center is different to the last one. Because the last one, remember I said, like, people knew me in there, but it's a different world in terms of the immigration. So not everybody knew me. In this one, this is basically Dover prison. Everybody in here is coming from prison. Like, it's a detention center for people who have finished their sentences and they've gone, all gang members, basically. Like, or all people that are linked to some sort of crime. You understand? So they've shipped me to that one now. And Yeah, straight away the tenseness in this one is different. This is a bigger one. I tell you, when I know that this detention center was different to the other one, the people that I came in the same night, I was banged up in like a 5-man cell. The cell stunk, bro. Right? And the reason why the cell stunk is because they had caught like people like that were in the back of like a trailer or some truck or something for the last month. You know, like people that's trying to sneak in from Europe, but they're either in something in the trucks, like in the back. You know, like people that are really trying to sneak into the country.
Yeah. So they
I'm with them.
Wash, like,
my last detention center is everyone that's already in the country, and you get what I'm trying to say? This is gang members and people that are really trying to sneak into the country. So these men have been shitting on themselves for like a month. They ain't bathed for a month, and I'm now locked in the same cell as them. Like, I know the routine now. I know in the morning they're gonna slide whatever they're gonna. I'm up early. I'm trying to get the fuck out of this cell, fam. Like, slide what you're sliding under my cell, cause when I reach downstairs, I'm letting them know I need a different cell. I can't sleep in this one. You get what I'm trying to say? So, same thing again now. As said so done. Letter came. I've grabbed it. Gone downstairs. What's happening? Because my only bail condition was to report to you lot, which is where you lot are detaining me from. I wasn't late. I wasn't anything to do with that. That's what I'm saying in my mind, like I'm going to be saying to them. But when I get to this one, it's different. I get downstairs and there's a room with everybody in it. See, that last one, we all went in 111. In this detention center, everyone is in the one room. We're all seated. And then once everyone came in from last night, the officer or the gov or whoever walked in and he was like, right, the first thing I want you all to know is you're all criminals.
Wait there. So this guy is the gov, basically.
Yeah, blood.
Yeah, so like the warden.
The warden.
Yeah. So he's telling. He's
Bro,
basically.
remember, you know, on my way walking downstairs to go to this room, I'm having a whole convo in my mind, like how I'm gonna say to them, like, blood, like my only bail condition was to I get there and straight away it's like, no, this is different to the last detention center. Because when I've walked to the door, it's a bigger room and there are chairs and there's people sitting in the chairs. So as I've walked in, like I'm kind of like, is this the right place? They're like, yeah, it's the right place. Sit. When I've sat, they're waiting for the warden or the gov to come into the room. When he's coming to the room, I'm still planning to say what I was gonna say. So when he's coming to the room, he's like, yeah, the first thing I want you all to know is you're all criminals.
I mean, like, I feel you, but it's like, how can man just throw that accusation out there, not knowing? I mean, a man could have his papers not in order and not be a criminal. Like,
one thing with me, right? Anytime I got kicked out of school and all of these things excluded because I'm gonna speak my mind. I was like, I'm not a criminal.
Yeah.
You get me? I'm like, well, I'm not a criminal. You get me? So straight away, me and him are having it out. He's like, well, you are a criminal. I'm like, no, I'm not. You can't tell me I'm a criminal. You don't even know what my situation is. So straight away now,
facts, bro.
You get what I'm trying to say? We're in that space.
Facts,
but
bro.
to show you, this detention center is wired differently. You get me? They're getting into your psychological in this one. He's saying the first thing. He's not even saying anything to do with your case, you know. He's letting you know, I want you to know, the conditions you're under, you deserve it. Because you're a criminal, fam. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, that was the first thing. So I was like, yo, in here is a bit different, but same thing, flights booked for a certain time, you get me? But from there, you're going to the canteen. This is jail now. You get what I'm trying to say? You get me? Early morning, you're going to go to the cafeteria or whatever, like to get your canteen, basically. Yeah, straight away, I'm just seeing bare road niggas in there, you get me? Like, just bare street niggas that are in there. Seeing a street nigga that I know, you get me, that was in problems with in the street. So straight away, it's a whole different experience now. The other one was more like campaign and seeing my shit on the TV and it was new. Do you know what it felt like? It's like if you chat to every street nigga, this was like your second time going to prison. That's what it felt like. Like the second time had a different feeling to the first time that you're ever going to prison. You get me? Like I felt a bit more like, I know what's happening in terms of the process. Like I knew they were going to put the letter. I know a little 1 and 2, but this one is it's a bit different because you're in now and everybody's ganged off. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, so yeah, mad experience. Obviously the flight is booked again. we're on it again. So the methods that we used to stop the flight before, automatically we've gone to do that straight away. Hit my lawyer. Come on, you know the drill. Get me? Let's get that done. We've done that. And the reason why it worked prior is because if you're in the detention center, you can only be in there if your removal is imminent. As in, you're only here because you're going very, very, very soon. So there's no point in you being on road, right? So what we did to stop the flight is we put in an application for something that would take months to get a respond to. Now, if it's going to take months, you can't send me away because one, I have a case pending within the United Kingdom, right? And if that's going to take months to be resolved, then my removal isn't imminent then. So you got to get me out of it. You know what I'm trying to say? So we've tried that technique straight away. Again, you understand, this is supposed to be a decision that is supposed to take months, bro. 24 hours, boom, no. They shut that one down quick. They're like, you got us last time. You got us the last time and got bail. This time, we predicted that move. Rejected. Something that's supposed to take 30 days, they said no in 24 hours, blood. So now, man is frazzled. Man say, bro, what the fuck are we gonna do, cuz, you get me? Trying to figure out what's happening, you get me? But like I said, in there is different. Man's having scraps in there.
Serious.
The man them are coming to visit, man. Like I'm in prison now, basically. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, this now phone calls are happening outside of like in there. Calls are getting made back in there. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? It's on edge. Weapons are being made. It's like that in there now. It's tense. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, having all of that, but everyone in here can go at any point. You get me? And
so I can imagine like the mood of being in a place like that where all the man them are just at edge, you know what I mean? So you're more inclined to be a lot more violent, a lot more, do you know what I mean?
No, 100%. Yeah, it's a lot more of that, but it weren't like only that, you get me? It was just obviously everyone's frustrated. Everyone's in a crazy environment right now, you get me? Like I said, it's not prison. For me, it's kind of worse, like depending on what your setup is back home, because if you're in prison, blood, you get what I'm trying to say? You're gonna, unless you're lifed off, you're gonna have a release date at some point.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like you got some, so you got 5 years, you got 10 years, you got whatever the fuck you got. You know, you got a time frame where you're gonna be out of this. In a detention center, blood, you're going on a flight and being sent away from this country at any point.
That's a mad perspective as well.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like at any point. This is before they give. There's man in there that don't see, like they booked my flight. There's man in there that are just in there, don't know when their flight's coming. You get what I'm trying to say? So them man are basically in prison, but there's no, it's like they're on remand, but there's no case.
Mad.
There's no one to speak to. It's just one day they're gonna come for you in your cell and put you on a plane. You get me?
And you don't know when.
And you don't know when. So I've seen man in that situation. It's like when they do come, them man are just shitting on themselves, wiping it all over themselves so that no one can come near them. So that at least hold off long enough to miss the flight. Like I've seen craziness in there, you get me? Like I've seen like my cellmate next door, banging his head on the wall when they're coming for him, because now you have to put me in hospital. I'm not going on the flight. You see what I'm saying? Like just crazy things in there. And yeah, just a whole different setup in there. I'm seeing man in there that like they're discovering while I'm in there who I am. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, we've been cool and all of this, but it's like, right, Cashh, Peckham. But I know a Cashh from Peckham. You get me? I'm thinking music. I'm thinking like, you probably would. Obviously, man, do the music thing. Rare. It's like, yeah, probably. Time goes on. One day, randomly, a man saying, blood, you tried to kill my nephew.
To you?
To me.
Mad.
Now, automatically, this is a man I've been on the wing with for time. Or whatever time frame that I've been in there. But where it is he's been working his brain for time. Where do I know this brother from? I'm thinking he knows me through music. He knew me from some shit from before. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, so now, imagine that, blood. Imagine you're just in a room with a man. Me and him are doing laundry and that, cuz.
So he's like a cellmate.
We're not cellmates, but we're on the same wing.
Okay.
You get me? And we all got our jobs or whatever. We do the laundry thing together. You get me? So just one day he was like, it hit him randomly. He's just like, you get me? Now, automatically, you're in battle mode. You get me? Because a man's saying like, bro, I don't know who his nephew is.
Oh, so you like obviously
I don't
it
know.
didn't register
I don't
with
know
you
who
like
he's
what he's talking
I
about.
don't know
like.
who he's talking about. You get me? His nephew could be a wide variety of people. I don't know who he's talking about. You
So
get
what
me?
your response to him was like,
My response is just straight away, kind of like I'm just on whatever he's on.
oh, okay.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like I'm on whatever he's on, but more at the same time, still trying to find out who is your nephew though. You get what I'm trying to say? Like who's your nephew? Like no, you did try to kill my nephew. I'm saying who's your nephew, but as I'm saying who's your nephew, I'm still kind of like, you get me? Like I'm kind of sizing up to him in a way. You get me? Not like diving in, because I don't know who it is. It would be different if the whole time I knew that's my man's uncle, you know. The day he clocks, I'm just gonna bang him in his face. I don't know who he's talking about. So at the same time, are you thinking of a different Cashh? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know who you're chatting about. You get me? Like, turns out I know his nephew, you get me? But what his standpoint was like, blood, we're at the end of the road. You get me? Like we're going, it's not like we're in jail and we're going on road soon or whatever, blood. Like,
So
you get me?
he's basically squashing it, saying, yo.
Yeah, you get me? His thing was kind of like he's got more things to focus on right now than that. You get me? Like the main thing is his nephew's alive and all of these type of things. But again now, I can't sleep the same in here. You get what I'm trying to say? So now it's just, now there's an extra layer on top of the main focus being to get the fuck out of the detention
Extra weight
center.
on the shoulder.
Yeah, you get me? Like, they've got
facts.
the block in there. You can get sent to the block in there and all of that. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, all of that stuff has happened. Like I said, eventually, man's having scraps, fights in there, this, that, all of that's happening. All while still being this musician outside.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what an ordeal, bro. I mean, trying to even register that kind of experience, bro, it's a madness, bro.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So, obviously, as far as these letters, you know, like that whole process of letters going underneath the door, bro, it's like, is there no other way for them to, like, you know, treat you like a human and take you somewhere and be like, yo, this is your situation?
They don't,
These men are putting letters underneath your...
Bro, these people, they don't have any heart. They don't have any pulse. They're dead people walking, bro. You get me? Like, to work that job, trust me, like, I get everyone has a situation and a lot of people, even the govs fam, like sometimes I just think like, cause some of them you can see they're cool, you know them ones, but it's like, blood, how do you come to work every day and see people living under these conditions and go back home to your family nice? And you get what I'm trying to say? I get it, everyone's got to do what they got to do. I'm not judging you. All I'm doing is looking at your situation and validating to myself that I am definitely not you. Because I couldn't do this job. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I could not do what you're doing, blood. You get me? Like, so I guess I grew to the point of not having any expectation from them. Like, they'll do the wildest things. You get me? Like, I've been in there and heard them basically tell a man that his baby that's on the way is still in the womb. So if they send him away, the baby won't be affected because the baby don't know who he is yet. You get what I'm trying to say?
Wait there. So these are the bars that they're giving people. They're spitting these kind of raps to people.
Yeah. And you're seeing different sides. You're seeing the whole play out. You're seeing a man come in, just like I did. You're seeing him come in. Everyone's parlaying and having conversations about what a man saying, yeah, it's mad, but I'll be cool though, because I got a youth on the way. You get me? It's like, you got a youth on the way. When you've been in there, you're thinking, fucking hell. I remember when I was thinking like you, or I remember when my man said that. You get what I'm trying to say? You're seeing him say that he's got a youth on the way, and then eventually while he's in there, you realize that don't mean shit. A man's coming back like pissed on the wing, fam. Like, blood, they're trying to tell me my youth's not born yet, so it won't make a difference basically if they send me because the youth has no attachment to me. Or you got man that already have kids and a man's on the wing, balling, blood.
Crazy.
Like, bro, they're telling me I can chat to my kids on Skype and all of these type of things. You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
mad.
Yeah, blood. Like, so you see the effects that it's having on all of these people. It's mad. So you kind of eventually don't have any expectations. Like, they don't treat you like human beings. So you don't really expect them to do anything with a heart.
That's a mazza, bro. Honestly, that's so crazy to even, like, you know, hear that account from you about that experience. It's mad, bro. Like, I mean, so like eventually the feared basically happened, you know what I mean? Like, I'm assuming they would have told you that, boom, this is your flight now.
Yeah.
And now thing got real, basically, innit?
Yeah,
so now they're literally taking you to go face deportation.
Yeah.
Which eventually happened.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that as far as the events.
The build up to that is like I said, they told me the flight date the morning after I've got there again. But when I've tried my method that I tried the last time to get bail, they shut that down immediately. So when they shut that down, what that means is that flight date still stands. So now me and the lawyer and the team, we're scattering trying to figure out what the fuck to do. We're trying to find loopholes. Because what we did is we found a loophole the last time. They've found a way around that loophole to fuck us over, basically. You get me? So all of that's happening. So that's what I'm saying now. Picture, we're trying to figure out how to get me out of here, all while everything's happening, like I mentioned, inside, like fights and this and rare. All of that is happening in this short space of time. You get me? Like, and I just remember, like, my lawyer just starting to move funny. His response is a bit slower. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm thinking, like, this brother's not moving how he's been moving prior to this. Do you know what I mean? And then I just remember thinking, like, wow, we're getting close to the date now. And
so you always had the date?
Yeah. I had the date from the day after I got in there. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. I don't know what to do at this point. I got a number for one of my primary school teachers, the same primary school I went to with Damilola Taylor. Because I'm thinking, like, yo, I don't know why, but I just wanted to speak to one of them. You get me? Because they've seen me from young. And the immigrations, their case was basically, there is no proof that I came to this country from the age that I'm saying I came to this country. That's what their whole case is based on. We're saying he clearly was here because he went primary school here. So we've been giving them evidence of me in Key Stage 2, year 2, year 3, year 4. You get what I'm trying to say? We're showing them evidence. So I thought my last resort now is to try again, speak to a teacher that definitely knows me as that young child from when I first got to this country. So I've called them and just kind of told them the situation. And his advice, Mr. Gordon and Miss Ramsey, big up the both of them. Their advice was basically go public. Because what they're doing is illegal and what they're doing is wrong. And you have a platform, go public and let everyone know what they're trying to do with you. This is the day before the flight.
Timing.
Right? The day before the flight. Obviously, go public. I'm like, we've been in this a lot of years, man. There's been a lot of times we've been around industry people and think to ourselves, like, rah, maybe if we tell this person, they might have some connection to help the situation. Like, we've been loads of times, like, close to telling them, and I'm like, nah, don't tell them. We don't trust these people, fam. I don't know these people. You get what I'm trying to say? We don't know where they're going to take that news and take it to wherever they're going to take it to. You understand? So now being told to go public, basically not just trust one person and tell one person, tell the world, tell everybody that knows you that you're illegal and been illegal in the country. That was a big move to make. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, one, you know, Black Twitter. You know, our community. The first thing is you're thinking they're going to be laughing.
They're going to turn the thing into a joke.
They're going to, understand, they're going to find some sort of jokes out of this situation. You get what I'm trying to say? But, like, blood, fuck their jokes, blood. I need to get the fuck out of this situation. You get what I'm trying to say? So, got my people to send some tweets out on my behalf, basically, like, saying what was happening. And, I just remember, like, they came for me in my cell. I was banged up again, another 5-man cell. They came for me, took me out of that cell and brought me to a different cell that night. Like, I'm just by myself. Obviously, all of the man them that I was in banged up with, them and I'm thinking, fuck, that's it now, you get me? He's gone. I know once I left that room, the man were in there talking for the whole night, like, you get me? Like, fuck, Cashh, man. They got my nigga. I'm saying he's gone. He's definitely not making it back. He's definitely not coming back, man, you get me? So I'm in the cell, and bro, obviously I couldn't sleep that night. So I'm in the cell, and no word of a lie, bro, I got my phone there. Phone's ringing, like a trap phone, fam. Pick up the phone. Hi, is such and such from The Sun? Is this Kashif Nichols? Put the phone down. Hello, is such and such from The Guardian? Hello, is such and such from the Daily? Every newspaper, bro. Hello, BBC. Bro, it's going mad. All of the news outlets. I don't know how the fuck they got my number, blood.
Serious.
They're all phoning me.
So, So how did the story break then?
Because of the
Basically,
tweets.
Because of the tweet. Okay, your brethrens. Oh,
The tweets happened. So now, obviously, everyone's picked it up. It's gone out.
And you never really like took the time to sit with them, not all over the phone anyway, and establish a story or anything.
No. I've told them. I've texted them. I've got my phone in there. I didn't have a smart one, so I've texted them exactly what to tweet. Like from my words.
I'm talking about the newspaper now. So
no, the newspaper. Sorry, yeah. No, because this is basically after midnight and all of these things. The flight is in a few hours. You know what I'm trying to say? But the phone is going mad, and everyone's ringing around trying to help because obviously everyone in the public, industry people, whoever is trying to help is trying to help. Fans are signing petitions. Like it's going crazy. Yeah, it's going around the place online, and obviously I can't see what's happening on the outside. But I just know there's a lot of shit going on out there. You get what I'm trying to say? So
what kind of celebrities or like people in the game was
like?
Reaching
I just
out,
remember obviously like there's a lot of people that was reaching out and all of that. But I remember Kano speaking out like heavily. Like prior, there's people that spoke even after I got sent, but on the prior to me getting sent, I remember Kano like speaking out and like at this point I remember the article saying Top Boy actor. Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, talking about it and all of that stuff. And
big up Kane.
Yeah, big up Kane, my brother. And it was just going everywhere, you get me? I remember being able to like hear from the outside that there's fans that are gonna go to the airport and all of these type of things. But here where it was now, right? Like basically we've sent the tweet out, or management sent the tweet out, but they've got one of the like for the flight number, they've got something wrong in it. So now you've got Twitter and the internet split in two. It's a publicity stunt. That flight don't even exist. I looked it up. So now half of them don't believe. Half of them do. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like, because I think it was, this is the 28th. This is the 28th of March. Half are saying it's going to be an April Fool's thing. He's going to come out on the 1st. He's going to say April Fools. Remember, his project just come out. You get what I'm trying to say? These times, man's really in this situation. You get what I'm trying to say? So eventually we sent out, I think, another thing or whatever. But people are at Virgin, the airline, saying like, if you let him go on this plane, it's an injustice and you're doing something illegal, etc., etc. But it's going mad. And they sent 2 escorts for me early in the morning, maybe like 4 in the morning. They've come to the cell. And they did this before in the last detention center. I got all the way up to this point and managed to still get bail, basically. Right? So I've been here already, but this is a bit different because I had my paper for them for when they came. I didn't have shit this time. So I ain't got nothing. You get what I'm trying to say? So they've took me, I've gone, we're outside, they've signed me out, everything that I got detained with, they've given back to me, all of that type of stuff. Like, basically like you're being released from prison, isn't it? Like, but I'm going to airport. You understand? So handcuffs are on. I'm in the back of the van again. So during that drive, speaking to people on the phone, you get me, like family members, all of these type of things, and the phone calls come through, and it was I believe it was Fuse ODG, right? And me and Fuse had been speaking, and he had tried to link me up with like some lawyer that he knows or whatnot. And long story short, they were like, they're gonna try and get one of the MPs involved to try and do something in regards to this.
For those who don't know who Fuse is, like...
Fuse, so Fuse, big up Fuse, my brother. Like really good brother, you get me? But Fuse is one of the pioneers who got like one of the first hits or a few of the first hits in this Afro beats genre that you see happening now. Like, for example, you know, like you have like, from within the UK, I should say, like you have like WizKid, you don't need no other body.
Come on.
You understand? So I'm talking, he's somebody that played a part in the timeline for that song. For you knowing that song now in America or wherever you are in the world, he played a part in that, basically. So at this point, when he's helping me out, his songs are everywhere. Big artist, you get me? Basically, still a big artist right now, doing his thing, you get me? Big up
he's doing something. He didn't have
to do that. And me and him didn't really have a great relationship before that. It's not like I knew him. I didn't know him at all. They booked me for something, like him and his manager booked me for a show, but I found that out years later. I didn't remember ever having any sort of connections with him. I would have been trying to get a feature at that point if I knew we had the link already. You get me? You won't get me the MP. You just give me a verse. You get me? But so I've got now to. I'm in the back of the van, and they've driven a way that basically, in my mind, I'm picturing how this is going to work out. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to be walking through the airport with my handcuffs on. Like, this is going to be crazy. Bro, I don't know how they did it, but I just remember looking up and they've gone through some slip road and we're now driving on the runway. The plane's there. This is the first time I'm seeing a plane as an adult. I didn't remember anything as that child that came to me. Since
she was a youth, mad.
Bro,
mad.
I'm like, these are fucking huge.
Crazy.
It's I just remember like being stuck in that moment, like for the first time, like just looking at it, like I tapped out for a second of what was happening, like blood. That's mad, you get me? Like even the steps to go up to it, like without them steps, you can't jump on the plane, you can't do nothing. Like you get what I'm looking at, I'm sizing it up, I'm thinking, this is crazy, you get me? Got off there and then ended up going onto the plane or whatnot, still handcuffed. And as I've gone on there, I'm seeing this is a public flight. The plane's full. It's just normal people on here. And I'm getting the eyes and I'm getting the air hostess looking at me. I can hear people saying, oh, that's Cashh. That's Cashh.
No way.
I'm thinking, wow.
No way.
You get me? Like, so once I've been seated now, like the phone's still ringing. I'm still getting phone calls. I'm speaking to like loved ones. People are crying on the phone. Like, you know, like this is the moment now, like you're about to go. You get me? Like, then I get a phone call and it's the MP. The MP's phone and he's like, oh, I've just been made aware of your situation.
Do you remember which one?
His name is Simon Hughes or something like that, I believe. And he's like, basically, I've caught wind of your situation. We're going to try and put a 24-hour stop on your deportation. Or on your plane. I'm on the plane right now. Yeah. It's like, we're getting ready to go. You understand? I don't know how they've got word to the pilot or whoever or whatnot. The plane can't move until they sort out what they sort out and phone me back. So we're just sat on the plane now, waiting for the phone to
So the whole flight just getting delayed.
The whole flight's delayed now, basically. Oh, you get me? Like, and I'm on the plane and I'm thinking, fuck. In between that time, my escorts, the two escorts, they've seen that man's cool. I guess they've realized, right, he's someone in the public eye. I'm cool. They've taken off the handcuffs and I'm taking pictures with the air hole. I'm taking pictures. Bro, it's mad in there.
Bro, like I can't even imagine that. Like your head, like where's your head at when you're doing all of them things?
Bro, like in my mind, I swear to you, in my mind throughout the whole time, I'm not going nowhere.
Oh, so you was confident, like
the whole time, like that. I'm thinking, okay, cool. All right, we're on the runway now, playing. All right, cool. Something's gonna happen. And as I feel that, I got the phone call from the MP. So now I'm patting. I'm thinking, all right, cool. So shit, at least let me get some pictures while I'm on this. You get me? Like I take pictures with anybody if they want to take pictures. It's cool. You get me?
For our overseas listeners, the MP basically is a member of parliament.
It's like it's
in
like,
the government that we have here, it's basically like a government official, right?
Yeah, it's like a mayor. It's like you're running for a mayor of New York or something. It's like the mayor's phoned me basically saying
it's a big deal, basically.
Yeah,
like,
I'm putting your flight. I'm putting your flight on pause. They can't fly until I phone you back. I'm going to try and sort your shit out. Just wait for me. So we sat there, we're waiting for a while. You can hear babies crying in the background, getting impatient. You get what I'm trying to say? Phone rings. He said, I don't know what you did, but they are adamant that you need to leave the country. And I was just like, thank you, man. Thank you for trying or whatnot. I've come off the phone. And just from there, I just went straight in like, all right, cool. I need to go Jamaica then, basically. This is beyond me.
You accepted your fate at this point?
I mean, I accepted it in terms of this flight needs to happen, but you get me? I'm like, all right, cool. So there's a reason I need to go on this flight. This flight needs to go to Jamaica. But maybe that's just so I can get an experience of flying. But when I get there, they're going to realize this is a mistake and I'll be on the next flight back to the UK. So that's now, because in my mind, that's what's going to happen. I'm enjoying the flight. I'm like looking through the window. Remember, this is the first time I'm on a plane again, bro. Like, I'm gassed. I'm looking at shit. I'm basically that kid again that came to the UK.
Second childhood.
You understand? Like, so the whole plane journey, there's no worry on my mind like that. In my mind, it's like when I land, in between that time, they figure this shit out. they know it's a mistake. You get me? Like, I'll be cool.
Do you know what I will say as well, though? It sounds like you're someone who has a lot of faith.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Like, you know that there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like, that's never left your head.
Never.
So you're going into these situations knowing that something has to give, innit?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
But sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, good. So basically, got to Jamaica now, and the escorts, I remember them now. Now, basically, their job's done. They want pictures now. You know what I mean?
Yo, listen.
Like, they want pictures now. So I don't know. I think one of them somehow, their son or someone has gotten in touch with them. Maybe they got a message when they got off the plane or whatever. But the son has basically said, like, "Rah, you need to get a picture. Do you know who that is? Do you know who you're working with today? Like, who you're escorting to Jamaica? Like, you need a picture with him." They've given me their card. They're like, if you do ever come back to the UK, you can phone us if you want security and shit and whatnot. So while he's saying this, I'm thinking, wait, what? Are you not leaving? Because I thought we were going to go back on the next flight to get what I'm trying to say. Bro, they transferred me over to Jamaican immigration, and then I was like, okay, so I'm here. Shit, okay, so I'm not going on the next flight. And I'm in Jamaica now. Yeah.
Mad. So at that point is when it sunk in that like man's here. And there's no, like, nothing else is happening after. Man's here.
Still not yet. Nah, still not yet. You know?
Still not yet. I still kept the faith. Mad.
I'm thinking, maybe I need to go outside. maybe, you get me? Maybe I need to go outside just to feel Jamaica. And then
that faith
someone will shout me back like, yo. You get me? Yeah, now they figured it out still. Come. You get me? So I'm in like the interview now with the Jamaican immigration, right? And I'm in here and I'm still fighting my shit. So I'm speaking the strongest British accent you have ever heard. I don't think I've ever spoken that well since. I'm sounding like Harry Potter and them niggas, you get me? Like, trying to let them know I don't know nothing about Jamaica. I don't know nothing to do with here. I just remember the guy like, just there, just listening to me. It's like, He's like, cool.
He's not buying it.
Like, cool. Not even that he's not buying it. It's like, blood, the worst has happened already, bro. Like, I'm just really doing this as procedure, but you're out here. You get me? You can speak in the strongest accent you want. You're done, bro. You get me? You get me? Like, you're just like, alright, cool. So, where I gonna know? Because, like, where I forgot go on, you know? So, where I go? Because I'm saying to him, I don't have nobody out here. I don't know nothing out here. You get me? So, yeah, in that moment, it was just like, yo, cool. I've got like a bag with my clothes, and I remember walking towards like arrivals, like to go outside of the airport now to actually be in Jamaica. And I'm walking, so in front of me, I can see people that are already in front of me, and the automatic doors have opened, so I can see out there is a crowd of people, obviously there to welcome whoever's coming to the country. And as I'm just thinking to myself, fucking hell, like, this is mad. Like, I don't know what I'm doing at this point. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know nothing.
So what, you had no contact with people that's there?
No.
To let them know that, yo, boom, boom, boom.
No.
Mad.
You get me?
So what's the move? I mean,
and you know the maddest thing?
Yeah.
During the time speaking to the Jamaican immigration officer, while I'm there speaking in the British accent, all of that, and he's there like, he's like, you know your cousin works here.
So what, he knew you? He recognized you?
Yeah.
Yo, this is... These plot
so
twists are mad.
So he's letting me talk for time. He's letting me talk for time. Like, I don't know. I don't have no family in Jamaica.
He was privy to
the whole time. He's just there like, He's like, you know your cousin works here. So obviously for me now, it's not impossible that my cousin works here, but I ain't going to let you know that. So I'm like, my cousin, I don't know what cousin you're talking about. He's like, all right, cool. Maybe around 5 minutes later, this brother walks in. He's like, cuz. I'm like, fam, I don't know you. I don't know you, blood. You get me? He's like, come on, cuz, man. You get me? Like, you might not, we ain't met, but you get me? I know, yeah. And he's reading off names now. He's saying my dad's name. He's saying my grandma's name. He's saying everything. I'm looking at him. I'm like, blood, I've never heard them names in my life. I don't know who you're talking about. You get me? That's not my mum's name. That's not my dad's name or my grandma's name. So maybe you're mixing me up with somebody else. After a while, he's just like, all right, cool. He gave up and he left, innit?
So what, you just straight rejected man, like,
yeah, because I'm thinking the moment I say, yes, my people are here, that's me now, innit? I'm saying, no, this British accent's gonna take me all the way, fam. You get me? I don't know no one in Jamaica.
Oh,
you get me?
shit.
So as I'm walking out now, that thought has ran across my mind like, fuck, that might have been my only local. You get me, my man? You get me? Someone must have sent him. You get me? How did he know that I was coming here and all of that type of stuff? So as I've walked out now, I'm thinking, fuck, what am I gonna do? I heard, yo, Cashh, from in the crowd. When I've looked up, it's someone I was locked in the detention center with a month ago.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. But I'd looked out for him when he came in there and he got sent to Jamaica before I came to Jamaica. So he was outside waiting for me because it had gone all over the news. So he knew I was arriving.
So what? So you lot was like close, like when you was back in
Basically, my girl and his sister worked together. So when I got sent in the detention center the first time, the one that I got bail from, when I got sent in there, let's say I got in there on a Friday, he got in there on a Monday. So between Friday and Monday, you establish yourself quite quickly in these places. So I know who's who and all of that. So by the Monday he's coming, I've kind of got him. It's like, yo, this is my people's rare. Introduce him to everybody. He's cool. Nothing can't happen to him while I'm here. You get me? Like, and then the flip side to it is I've left him in that detention center because remember, I got bail. So I got bail. He ended up getting sent to Jamaica. So during that time he's been sent to Jamaica, I've then got detained again and gone to a different detention center. But he's already in Jamaica all this time. I don't know what's happening with him. We've lost contact. So when I've got to Jamaica, again now it's flipped. He's there a month or so before me. So now it's like, right, you had me, so I got you.
Bro, these plot twists. You get me? Like there's too many of these plot twists. But no, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he's basically caught wind of your situation and he's in the crowd in the airport waiting for you.
Yeah, so basically, obviously everything's happened. At this time, I don't know anyone's organized it. My girl at the time, she basically reached out to his sister. Cashh is on the way. Sister's phoned him. You get me? My people sent down whatever bread that needs to be sent down. I don't know this is happening though. This is all happening while I'm on the flight.
Mad.
So as I've walked out, I don't know. This has been patterned and organized for me, basically. You get me? But yeah, thank God he was out there. You get me? And yeah, but at the same time, I didn't really know him like that. So he's brought me to his family home. I don't know any of these lot. So the paranoia is obviously there. Like I'm in some people's house, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm in a difficult place as a human being because I'm grateful for every single one of you lot. You lot are helping me out, but are you helping me out for now? And then there's gonna be a flip side. You get me? While I'm in the mode of the flip side, I don't want to seem ungrateful. So how am I supposed to act? I don't know. Plus, I just got fucking sent to Jamaica. There's just a lot of emotions running through, man. Like a lot on my mind at the same time. You get me? So
I can imagine. Yeah.
Then there's the cultural twist. Like he lived in like country. He lived in a place called Trelawney.
Usain Bolt's from there, innit?
That's where he's from. Not far from where Bolt's from. You get me? But this is countryside, bro. This is donkeys, red dirt. Roads that aren't even really roads. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I've gone back to there. They do farming. I'm OT. I'm out of town. You understand? Like, and I've woken up in that, basically. Like,
so what did it ever come to a point where you was able to reach out to your family that was actually out there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That was just the first day, what I'm just saying to you. That's just he's picked me up from the airport. I've slept that night. I've woke up the next morning and I'm in his family home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm putting myself in your shoes. Like, again, I agree with you. So in that situation, I might want to get the hell out of there, bro. I'll keep it real. You know what I mean? Because you don't know nothing that's going on.
Yeah.
You by yourself. It's like an ordeal you're experiencing on your own. Do you get it? So it's like, in that situation, I might be trying to phone the fam, like ASAP kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Whereas my situation was, if I phone them, it's the same as these lot. I don't know them either.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
fair
you know what? I'm here for now, man. You get me? I'm here for now. And you know what it is as well? These lot are at least in country. You get me? Like, where the family I'm going to phone, they're in the trenches, bro. You get me? Like, I don't know what they're preying. I don't know what. One thing I know for sure is they've been looking at them videos in England. You get me?
I'm thinking,
you get me? They're saying, boy,
he's up right now, basically.
You get me? I'm saying, blood, if he's rich in England, he's double rich in Jamaica. You understand? So I'm thinking they might be sat around waiting for that phone call. I ain't phoning no one. You get me? I'd rather just stick with these lot for now. You get me? So
how long you was basically with them lot?
I weren't with them for that long. Like sorted out my situation, like within a month or so. Like ended up getting my own place and whatnot in a different ends and whatnot. But I was there long enough to like be amongst them. You get me? Like know all their family members. You get me, bro? That the morning I woke up, when they've taken me into their equivalent of like the town where all the shops are and shit. And then when I say shops, I mean a barber shop and a school and maybe a corner store. That's it. That's their town. I'm in countryside, bro. There ain't shit going on up there. You get what I'm trying to say? But when I've gone up there, the shops and all of that stuff, I'm front page on the newspapers. UK rapper deported.
Like when you'd think like shit might get a bit
Bro,
easier. Like...
now it's like, yo, you lot are telling everyone who the fuck I am. You get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, eventually I ended up like getting my own spot and all of that stuff after a while.
So obviously now you're on the papers out there back in yard. Are people like saying, yo, that's boy from the papers? Like
I mean maybe within that community and defo on my block, like where my people them are from.
Approached or not? Or like people
Nah. So like where I was down there, I think everyone knew, whether it was in the papers or not, it's blatant I'm not from down there. You understand? Like it's blatant, like my accent. I'm just a bit too clean. He's definitely, and no one knows he's from here. And I guess why the whole of that community would have known I got sent to Jamaica as well is because remember, I'm brethren with my brethren that just got sent back only a month ago. So it's like, cool. He probably got sent back as well, you get me? So, whereas them newspapers are everywhere in Jamaica. So where my family are from is big topic. It's big topic because remember, I was the child that could, if you walked with me, you could go to both sides of the ends that war. That child has now been sent back to Jamaica. You get me? And obviously, over the years, they've heard different things. They've heard when I'm on the streets and I'm doing shit, then they've heard the transition into me turning into a musician. You get what I'm trying to say? So now it's like he's now back in Jamaica. They're going to obviously shout my family members like, "Ro, what's happening?" And then everyone's going to be like, "Well, I don't know. We ain't heard nothing from him. He ain't shouted us." In fact, my grandma, this is what I found out years later, once I got in touch with my family, she's the one that sent my cousin that works in the airport to obviously help me out.
Got you.
She sent him to help me out. He's phoned her back like, "Yo, he's saying he don't know you lot." So you understand? So that whole time I'm doing that trying to like cover myself. I've now got them looking at me like, "Rah, this guy don't like, Rah, he's saying he don't know us."
Mad.
Like, shit, alright, cool, fuck it then. You don't know us, cool. You get what I'm saying? Alright, cool.
Mad.
You get me? Like, it's obviously I've had to explain to her, like, nah, it weren't even like that. I just trying to, you get me? But they got it. They understood it, you get me? But yeah, no one weren't approaching me because a lot of news happens in Jamaica, bro. So within the next day, someone else is on that front page.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty common.
I made it out of the 24 hours quickly, you get me? Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah, so I mean, as I said, like you come across as a person, you got a lot of faith, bro, innit? Like, I mean, you know, you telling your story, you're saying it in a way where it's like, you know what I mean, like it happened sort of thing. And man, you just got to deal with like the cards that you was dealt sort of thing, innit? Which is a sick mentality to have.
Yeah.
I mean, while you was there, did you keep the faith? Like, was there any points where your head was gone and be like, you know what, like it's over kind of thing, innit? Because obviously we all got friends, we all got people that we know got dipped. You know what I mean? Never make it back. And you know what I mean? They're not even going as far as to try it because it's overwhelming enough to be somewhere and being like, yo, it's over. You know what I mean? So what was your mentality when you were there? Like, are you thinking, yo, I'm going to fight this, I'm going to keep going? Did you have, obviously you must have had downs and you know what I mean? So talk to us for that experience mentally.
The faith remained. I was there for 5 years. The faith remained for 5 years. Like the whole time.
You knew you was going to come back.
Yeah, that was on an everyday conversation, you get me? With my people. Like I quickly established I weren't going to be that friend that's like, yeah, no, I'm coming back soon. Back to my friends in England and they're just thinking, yeah, everyone says that, you get me? So it was just kind of like, if you spoke to me and you was in England, it'd be like, yeah, no, I will be back, you get me? But with my people, actively every day we're working on getting me back over there, you get me? So the faith didn't leave at all. But I'd say that the hardest part was the last 10 months. And that 10 months is after I've now won my case. So I now know I'm going back 100% certain.
So, not to cut you off, but how
yeah.
soon did you start fighting from when you landed? Like
Soon as.
soon as.
Yeah,
Okay.
soon as. So it took 5 years. Back and forth. Lost the case, appealed the case. But me and them are at war.
Same lawyer.
No. Hell no.
You say you told man kick rocks
nah,
basically.
cause he had to get out of there, man. Trust me, he was in on some real shit, bro. I feel like I don't even know if I've said it publicly, but I feel like the feds phoned him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the feds phoned him and kind of told him like he needs to go.
That's something they would do.
Yeah, you get me. He needs to go. So kind of dress back. You get me? Like it's bigger than you. You get me? Because it never made sense, bro. You get me? Up to now, I've never heard from him again.
Serious.
Yeah.
So how'd you pattern a new lawyer?
That was just immediately. That's just us trying to find. We've gone. I've done the whole consultation thing. I'm on Google looking up best lawyers.
Oh shit.
In the UK.
You're doing all of this basically.
Skype me, not just me. Like I got like my support system wasn't a huge one, but I had one. You get me?
Effective, like.
Yeah,
Facts.
you get me. Like
Facts.
I had my support system there, and between us, the small number of us, we was like, you get me. But I'm on it as well, obviously. Like I'm not just out there leaving it to them. I'm on Google. I'm trying to find the best people. We're speaking to, like, having consultations with like barristers and big lawyers and whatnot, who's like, I don't know, crazy amounts of money per hour to chat to them. So you're trying to talk quick. On the other, I'm trying to say, like, I'm speaking to these people, and all of them I'm talking to, it's like, yeah, basically, you will lose your case you're gonna lose. Yeah, you're gonna lose. That's just the way it's set up, basically. But you can then appeal. You can appeal, but obviously the way this is set up, you appeal. That's more. You're gonna have to pay again for us to then represent you. And then each day in court, for as long as that goes out for, that's more money. And I'm just listening to this thinking, this is just money, blood. This is just one whole big money scam.
Money grab, like.
You get me? Like, this is mad. So eventually found a lawyer that we was like, okay, cool. We feel like this could work. And yeah.
And how long did that take, would you say, from when you landed? Like, was it a year, a couple years?
What, to find a lawyer?
To get the right lawyer, this lawyer?
Yeah, maybe around a year.
A year?
Maybe around a year.
That is some serious graft, though.
Yeah, maybe.
You know
Was
what I
it a
mean?
year? Was it a year? Because we started it immediately. So, yeah, I'd say maybe 6 months to a year. Yeah.
I respect that. That is graft still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From when you, like, you didn't dilly-dally, you know
No,
what I mean?
no.
Straight booms. It was just business.
Bleachers,
Like.
no nothing. We need to get straight to this. You get me?
Sick.
Like, so we got to it immediately. And yeah, literally, I was battling with them for 5 years.
So you was there for a 5-year period.
Yeah.
Back home. Now, obviously, fighting your case, was it the lawyer that come to you and said, you know what? Like, this is kind of looking up now. Like there's light at the end of the tunnel that it's realistic for us to reach. Like, what was that conversation like when he's telling you, like we might be able to, you know what I mean, revoke this?
There's no mites.
Okay.
There's no mites.
So he's just like being...
There's no mites, because you know what it is? It's like, they don't want to sell you a dream, innit? Like, whereas some law firms do. They're going to tell you mites, and they're going to tell you this, and this might happen, and that might happen. And then if it don't happen, it's like, all right, cool, well, we've got our money anyway. Whereas the ones that were representing for me, they'd keep it real and just say, obviously, where all we can do is put together a case as strong as possible. So we're not leaving any stones unturned. Anything that we feel like they would then bring up, we have a counter argument for that and all of that. So all we can do is put that all together. We're then obviously going to all sit and speak, whether that's over the phone, emails, whatever. Do we all agree this is the strongest way we can step out? Yes? Cashh, you agree? Yes? All right, cool. Well, this is it then. The faith is going to be beyond us now. You get what I'm saying? So the process is you put the application in, and we basically, a court date. We finally got my court date, because you only get in court if they've refused and you're appealing. So put in my application, strong application, and refused.
Okay, what was this, attempt number 1?
It's attempt number 1, you get me? Refused. But remember, all of the people I was having consultations with, they told me this would happen. They say you're never going to win that first one. This is a part, because now, in order to for people to understand, it takes a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to do the first attempt. You're doing that knowing they're gonna say no. And then you have to do a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears again in order to appeal. You understand? But the good thing with that is if you appeal it, you now get in court. And if you're in court, now the decision is based on a third party. This whole time throughout my whole immigration history, it's just me versus them. And they make the decision. So if they want to say no, they're going to say no. But now we're taking it to somebody else. They're putting their case for why I shouldn't come back to the country. I'm putting my case for why I should. The decision is being made by somebody separate for the first time. You get me? So it's like, even though we know they're going to refuse the first one, fuck it. It's a chance we're willing to take because at least someone else is going to hear this out. Everyone that hears it doesn't understand why I'm even here in the first place. So we're going to just take it and we're going to fight. This costs peas. This costs money, bro. This costs bread. Eventually, we knew that was going to happen. So we've appealed it. And court date has come up. And how this works, it isn't like, all right, guilty, not guilty. It's you have your court date and all you have to rely on is just, I guess, how the judge was reacting in the day. But remember, I'm not there. I'm in Jamaica. So my people are in court. My lawyer, everyone's in court fighting for me.
So this is all going down in the UK?
This is all happening in the UK. I'm in Jamaica. I don't know what the fuck's happening in that court. You understand? Like, I'm there, like, pacing around the house. Like, I'm thinking, fuck, like, you get me? Like, raw, this is the time they said it was going in there. Like, raw, it's been a minute now. Like, no one ain't shouted me yet. You get me? And then when they do shout you, it's kind of like they don't have a decision to tell you. It's just like, raw, well, and the man was saying, like, raw, like, I remember my brethren's phone, like, the judge seemed all right still. Like, judge seemed all right. But I'll take that over, boy, the judge, man, I don't know. You understand? So that was good news to us. You get me? Like, the judge seemed okay. So now you have to wait for the judge to make the decision. This is like a month or so. That month is long. You get me? It could be longer than a month. You're waiting for a while. Did the decision come through? We won. Finally. You know what this means? This means you won. This means you can come back to the UK.
After the second attempt, you're in the game.
You're in the game now. But don't celebrate too quick because the Home Office now have 30 days to appeal your win. And we got to go court all over again.
Mad. Is that what they did?
Bro, that 30 days is just like, oh, fuck. Like, man's just counting it down. Like, bro, you're just praying, saying, please don't appeal. Please don't appeal. Please don't appeal. You get me? Like, just let it go, man. I've won, man. Just let me live, fam. You get me? 30 day come, they didn't appeal it. Give God thanks. There's nothing that can happen now. We're going back to the UK. You get me?
Mad.
So now we can celebrate.
Mad.
You get me? Now we can celebrate. Now we can start planning our return campaigns and how we're going to do this and rare. But we don't have long to plan because when I speak to my lawyer, I'm like, okay, cool. What happens now? And the lawyer is basically saying, well, they're going to contact you in like 2 weeks. There was for you to go and collect your passport at somewhere in Jamaica. They're going to send it with the UK visa in it from the UK because I had to send my passport back to the UK. They're going to send it to this passport place in Jamaica. The passport place will contact you within 2 weeks. You go there, you get your passport, book your ticket, come back to England, come back to the UK. Cool, 2 weeks, no problem. 2 weeks pass, no phone call. 3 weeks pass, no phone call. 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, bro. It went on for like 10 months.
Are you serious?
So obviously, that's why I said the last 10 months was the hardest. You get me? Because even though we had won, it was just like torture, bro. You get me?
Waiting for the green light, basically.
Waiting for the green light. So within that time frame, I kind of just felt like I didn't lose the faith, but I lost the faith in terms of like keeping that England in my mind. You get me? Like, it's just like, fam, fuck this. If they're gonna sabotage me, they're not sabotaging me. I'm gonna sabotage myself. You get me? So I was just running silly risk out there, just doing crazy shit, like doing things that, putting myself in environments that I really shouldn't put myself in as somebody who's won their case to come back to England. You get me? Like,
Okay.
yeah.
And what, had you been doing them things prior to that, or you?
I mean, I dibbled and dabbled, but smart. You get me? Whereas now I'm just reckless. I'm just being bait for no reason. You get me? Like, I'm taking myself to places where and staying there longer than I should stay there. So now I'm here longer than I should stay here. Events and activities are occurring, and now we have to be toe to toe in with people, and I have to be looking to stay alive and do whatever I need to do to stay alive. You get me? But I don't need to be in this situation. I live on the North Coast, but I'm putting myself now in where I'm from. I'm on my block, where the war is active. I don't need to do that. You get me? But in my mind, it's like, if something happens for why I can't go back to England, it's not going to be them. You get me? And I need to kind of take my mind off shit anyway. You get me? So that was hard. You get me? At this point now, my relationship's breaking down. You get me? Like everything's happening. This is now at this point now where my mind, I'm kind of losing myself a little bit. You get me? Like, because all that's happening is the year's worth of frustration that I suppressed. It wants to come out. I need to take this shit out on somebody. You get me? I can't. And the immigration people isn't one person. So I don't have somebody to take it out on. So I'm trying to take it out on anything moving. You get me? Like, I'm very, very short-tempered at this point. You get me? Like, any little thing's pissing me off and I want to take it to the extreme. You get me? So that was the most difficult part of that whole journey.
And was there any experiences as far as you sort of like having to sort of have that self-talk of yourself and be like, yo, what am I doing? Like, sort of thing. Was there anything where it got that peak, like that crazy, to a point where you just gotta, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just have that chat.
I had like an experience where I was driving from where I lived on the North Coast, going to my block in Kingston. And I was traveling in a certain fashion. And I just remember kind of giving myself an ultimatum, basically. I'm speeding and I'm saying to myself, if I get stopped for speeding, then if I get stopped for speeding and the police officer asks me for money, basically, which is a standard in Jamaica, you get me? You get stopped for speeding, we're not going to arrest you and all of that. Give us a little thing and go about your business, you get me? It's a standard. I've kind of told myself that if I speed and I get stopped and they ask me for money, then I'm going to react a certain type of way. And I'm speeding knowing this is what's going to happen. So I'm setting myself up, basically, you get me? And speeding, the police comes out, just where I thought he would. Stops me for speeding. Now, the last thing left for me to react the way I've told myself I'm going to react is if he asks me for money. You get me? And I'm parked up, and bro, I swear to you, like, I'm there, I'm ready to do exactly what I said I'm gonna do. If he asks me for money, I'm looking at him walking towards my car, and I swear to you, I don't know up to now, it's just God. His colleague basically called him back. So he's midway between their police car and my car, and I just see him look back, and then he looked at my car and he just waved me on. He didn't come.
Mad.
You get me? And bro, I sat there parked up for like 5 minutes. I couldn't even drive off. And that's where I gave myself the talk, like, blood, what the fuck are you doing, fam? You was about to throw it all away. Not just like England, you're throwing everything away. You get me? Like patting yourself, you get me? Like, get this shit together. But it was an emotional moment for me because I had seen just as far as how this situation had pushed me to. Like, I've got to that place now where I was just willing to throw it all away for nothing. You get me? So
I mean, it's understandable, but at the same time, it's almost, you know, you should be glad you didn't. Sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Of course,
like,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
no, but it's understandable. I mean, 10 months trying to wait when something already got greenlit, just like, do you know what I mean? But anyway, all in all, them 10 months, they passed, and I'm assuming you got your papers and your documents and everything.
Yeah, they phoned me one day, blood, like, just randomly. I finally got the phone call one day, you get me? I had stopped waiting for the phone call because it's giving me like anxiety problems, bro. Because if my phone battery died, I'm everywhere for a charger thinking like, fuck, like shit, they could be calling now. And that was for time, you get me? So I stopped waiting. So the day that the phone call actually came through, I was numb at that point. It's
So
just
it
like,
didn't even affect you how.
it's like, you
yeah.
can come collect it. I was like, alright, cool. You get me? I'm pretty sure I even told my people them after I'd gone and collected it. I didn't even phone nobody straight away. Guess like, yo, I got the phone call.
Yeah.
You get? I think I was out for food at the time. The people I was with, the person I was with having food, took the phone call, got the news, hung up the phones, continued eating. You get me? Like at that point, it's just like, you get me? Like,
Mad.
not that I wasn't bothered. I'm glad, but
Yeah.
you lot have said shit to me before, and then I think this is cool, and then something else happened. So until I'm in England with my 10 toes on the floor, this shit ain't really happened yet. You get me?
But boom, it happened.
It happened, bro.
You get me? And
Yeah.
obviously you booked your flight,
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I just want to go on record to say, bro, like, salute, innit?
Thank
Because,
you.
I mean, that whole ordeal, that experience, I mean, this is not an everyday thing, not an everyday occurrence.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it will take a different type of person in order to overcome something of that extreme, bro.
Yeah.
The many elements and different kind of matrices involved within that whole thing there, bro, like, you did it, bro, innit? Like, mental.
Nah, I love
Do you know what I mean? So when like you was like, what was that? You was on the plane, like what, gassed or something, like, or
Nah,
I mean, when did it sink in, bro?
You
innit?
know
Like,
me,
man beat the system, bro.
You know
like,
me, man. Like
get it?
that whole thing. I'm already on another mission on my way back. I'm already on another mission because basically now I know, okay, cool. When I get back to the UK, I know it's gonna be big news. I know this shit's gonna go viral and everywhere and whatnot. But I didn't want to lose that viral moment. So we're planning to basically let me get back to the UK, but don't tell no one I'm back. Let everyone think I'm still in Jamaica. And the first move, in order for this to not happen, is I can't come to the UK directly. Because if I'm seen on a plane coming to the UK, everyone on the plane, if I'm clocked on that plane, then I'm back. People might snap.
At this point, the phone is like a man's hand.
You understand?
So yeah,
literally. So the first step is I'm going Germany. Because if you see me on a flight in Germany, then I'm just going Germany.
I still can't come home.
Yeah,
but
I still can't
it.
come back to the UK, you get me? And lo and behold, bro, at the airport in Jamaica, like as you're going through customs or whatever, I'm seeing people that know me. Like, oh, Cashh, taking pictures with them and all of that. But I'm in the line to go Germany. If I had booked a direct flight, then everyone would have known immediately, you get me? And I didn't want everyone to know immediately because I wanted to plan how I announced that I was back properly. This shit was important. Everyone needed to know. We needed to like execute this in a way that for years to come, everyone will remember how it happened.
An occasion.
We needed to make it a moment, you understand, in history. So in order for that to happen, I need to plan from being inside of the UK. So went Germany, and then from Germany, traveled to England, basically, so that I didn't see nobody on the plane. Didn't see no one on the plane, clocked me. Everything was cool, you get me? Like, I got to the airport. I'm now in Heathrow. Like, I'm documenting the whole time.
Okay.
So I got all of this on video.
Okay. So what? Documentary coming out soon.
I'm documenting the whole time, like, and each time, like, I'm like kind of thinking to myself, like, raw, like, yeah, I'm not nervous yet. And I remember like now climbing back on the plane, going upstairs into the actual plane. And I'm like, raw, I'm still not nervous yet. You get me? Like, then I get to Heathrow. I've gone through customs and all of these things, and it's like, the man them are outside waiting for me, innit?
Serious.
But like, this is taking long because like, this is my first time coming back through. So obviously in the system, I know it's saying my situation's a mad thing. You get me? Like, this guy had been sent back. Is he supposed to come through yet? So they have to be doing checks. I've got my letters to show them and all of these things, but it's taking a minute and the man them are outside, you get me? So eventually they let me through, hooded up, got my glasses, gone through. It's these two men that are in the building now waiting for me, you get me? Like, I've gone out there, mad, we're back. Now I'm finally like 10 toes. Now I can celebrate, you get me? Now it can be like, raw, yeah, I'm back, you get me? So let's get this shit together. And yeah, bro, like I was basically here for like 7 months before telling anybody that I was here.
Mad.
You get me? Like,
mad.
And just like,
and what, no family members just broke the news, like, yo, like, Cashh.
Some family members didn't know, bro. There's been times I've been in the house, like I'm in the house and let's say a auntie has come to the house or whatever randomly, and I'm hiding. I've had to sneak out the house, like all of that, bro. Like staying in places for no one to know and all of that, like hiding it from family members because they're gonna be obviously excited and they're gonna leak the news to so everyone. I calculated everyone's gonna tell someone. That someone's gonna tell one person. And before you know it, it's gone out. You get me? So we had to do a lot of things I ended up having my disguise and shit, like all of that, like so that I can maneuver around and all of that. And we planned it, and then 7 months after being here, basically announced that I'm back, and it was mad.
And how did you go about doing that announcement?
So what we did is maybe around on the 6th month, it was like, okay, cool. Now, in order for the plan to be executed properly, there's obviously been 5 years. There's a new generation of UK fans who don't know who I am. And my fans who were my fans who disappeared over the years once my traction died or whatever. So it's like, in order to reignite all of these things, we need to show the people that are looking at, I guess, artists and whatnot that they care about now. We need to show that those people care about me. So if you're a fan of this person, you're watching this person's every move. If you see this person reacting crazy to this person, another person who you've never seen before, automatically you want to know who the fuck is that? So we're like, okay, cool. We need to go and link some of my peers and film their reaction to seeing me, but they don't know they're going to see me. So we're going to surprise them. We're going to film it. So one of the persons that I pulled up on was Still Bangles. Now, Still Bangles, like before I got sent to Jamaica, that's like my main producer.
Crazy.
You understand? That's my main producer. So you spoke on the F64 I did earlier on in the interview. It's Bangles that produced that.
Serious.
Yeah, so at that stage in my career, if you had seen me around, it's like, oh, that's Cash's producer. This before, so while I'm in Jamaica,
Before Mist even.
Way before me. So while I'm in Jamaica, he had then turned into Still Bangles. But prior to that, that is me and him in the studio working. Now for the songs that you're hearing as Cashtastic, it's him producing them. No one just didn't know his name at that point yet.
I feel you.
You see it? And at that point, Kenny All-Stars is my DJ. That's my DJ. That's who I do the shows with.
Mad.
While I'm in Jamaica, he's turned into Kenny. You know what I'm trying to say?
He's broke a lot of artists.
So it's like, okay, cool. Everyone knows who these lot are right now. So what we're going to do, we're going to surprise these lot and film their reaction. Because it's going to be raw and real, innit? So I've told Bangles that my brethrens came to Jamaica the other day. I'm chatting to him on the phone. Like, I've given them a gift to give to you, basically. So let me know when they can come and give you the gift. He's opened the door, thinking he's seeing my brethrens. He's seeing me. We're filming the whole thing. He's moving mad. He's running around. He's dropped on the floor. He's crying. All of these type of shit.
Is this material, is it out there already?
Yeah. So this is basically, we filmed this, and then this is now a part of the rollout. You understand? This is a part of how we're going to announce that I'm back. So that's gone out and it's gone viral, basically. Like, oh, Cashh is back. Bangles is crying. This, that, it's going all around, basically. Mad. Yeah, once that, the first thing that went out actually was what I documented of me coming through the airports and all of that. We posted that on my Instagram and naturally that's gone everywhere. Day after that, the reaction videos of the artists. The day after that, we chopped up something called History Lesson that showed all of them F64 freestyle, showed my history for people who are like, who the hell is this guy that everyone's talking about today on the internet? We've shown them who I am, shown them footage of shows and man shutting down and all of this. Like, okay, so it's almost like he went jail then. It's like, no, but he didn't go jail though.
Yeah, facts.
He got deported to a different country and now he's back. It's like, you understand? So we had all of that stuff lined up, and then just as like we've given the history lesson, Daily Duppy freestyle. You understand? So it's like, this is all patterned. Like, we're freezing that viral moment, which is what the plan was. This is why I didn't want no one to know I was back in the UK for 7 months. Because yes, the news was gonna go wild that he's back, but then 24 hours later, the news would be gone. So we froze like a week worth of the fact that I'm back. Every day there was something else, you get what I'm trying to say? And then, yeah, it just went crazy.
That's a great campaign, bro. Like, I mean, boy, that's like, I mean, crazy. I mean, like, so because obviously you're an artist, you know what I mean? it's a matter of re-establishing yourself in it. And I
course.
mean, that just sounds like genius. Like, to
Yeah,
be
nah, I
honest,
love, man. Credit to the team as well. Like all of us, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to do it. We had loads of plan A's, plan B's.
do you know what?
You
Yeah,
get
like
me?
I can even refer back to a moment in time previously, obviously before the whole ordeal happened, and you was doing live shows, and
Yeah.
I remember a thing where you used to come on the stage, but you had a mask on,
Yeah.
so they didn't even know it's you,
Yeah,
and they just back off the mask, and it's like, rah, like Cashh, I see the creative elements.
Yeah, so from then we've always been like, we've always wanted to create moments for people. So it's like if you're coming to a show with me performing, for example, like that mask thing, you've just mentioned it, what, how many years later? Like 7, 6, maybe 10 years later. We're in 2022 now.
Fact.
This is like 2010, 2011 stuff. The reason why I done that from then is for it to be spoken about all these years later.
I mean, I've never seen no one do that.
There you go.
And the way the crowd went nuts kind of thing, it's
Yeah,
like, bro, like even me, like I'm thinking, rah, like I'm not gonna scream, but that was mad though, isn't it? Like, that was crazy. You get what I mean? Like out the box, hella niche, like, you know what I mean?
Man,
Do you know what I mean? But obviously, boom, so let's talk musically now, innit? Obviously now you come back, the trajectory of music is a bit more different now on a hip hop level, innit? You've got like other subcultures like drill, you know, taking force basically, you know what I mean? Now it's like the go-to sound as far as UK hip hop is gone, you know what I mean? Obviously you've made it known, like obviously you weren't really a big grime fan, so what's your take on like drill being the, you know, the #1 sound as far as UK hip hop is concerned?
I fuck with it, man. I feel like there's a difference in the way the songs are being structured because the instrumentals are different. So the music is traveling further. I think drill is the first time, I guess, the US and the UK have had a similar sound at the same time. The New York lot doing drill at the same time as the UK lot doing drill. It was kind of like the visa for the two to collaborate and just listen to each other, basically. Whereas before, grime, the sound, not hearing it. You get what I'm trying to say? UK rap, the accent, not hearing it. Whereas the drill thing, these men it's the instrumental alone.
Do you know what's funny? It's like, I mean, a conversation could be had. I mean, a lot of UK producers was producing the beats for these men in the States to go and do their drill tunes.
There you go.
So the transition for a man that's in the UK is not as difficult because, that's man are making the beats here.
There you go. There you go. And
Yeah.
the sound is obviously completely different to where it was. You see, like back in my day, bro, like when we were really trying to put this UK thing together, this UK rap thing together, the UK rap thing, really, UK rap is on the ground. The pop world was still pop music. So in order for us to get on radio, we'd have to be making pop songs. We're rapping on pop songs, you get what I'm trying to say? And at that stage, the industry wasn't letting through more than one rapper at the same time. It was one at a time. We had like Tiny Temper.
Facts.
Tiny Temper, when he's around, Wretch isn't around. So after Tiny, then there's a Wretch. But while there's a Wretch, there isn't a next. You understand? They're letting us through like one. Now, think, Bear Man shelling right now in this industry. Right now in our scene, there's a lot of millionaires. All at the same time. Like, you go check the UK charts right now, you're going to see a lot of the man them's name in there. You get what I'm trying to say? You listen to radio.
Drill upon the radio.
You go, bro, when I first got back, right? And the man them scooped me from the airport and the radio's playing, I'm thinking it's a playlist. It's only when I heard that it went on the break, I was like, this is radio, fam. Like, they ain't ran no American songs, bro. You get me? Whereas prior to me getting sent to Jamaica, you'd hear bare American songs and then you hear that one rapper, UK. You're going to hear a Pass Out or a Don't Go. You know what I'm trying to say? This is that era there, Wretch. You get me? So coming back now, seeing what drill has done for so many black youths' lives, bro, that alone in itself, you get me? Like, it's taken a lot of man and changed a lot of man's family situation. You get what I'm trying to say? So you have to take the good with the bad. You get me? The content behind the music is the same content that had been running from whenever. It's just the instrumental is different. We can find violent dancehall songs. We can find violent hip-hop songs. We can find violent grime songs. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, we can find violent fucking films in Hollywood all day long. You get what I'm trying to say? Die Hard, my man is shooting a lot of people. You understand? He's running out of buildings, he's killing people, he's doing all of these things. You get what I'm trying to say? Like Terminator, them man got machines. It's just what we've grown up seeing. You get what I'm trying to say? So
You're not lying still.
yeah, the drill culture and the drill music, I should say, is just another depiction of how to say what you've seen. It's just the tempo and the instrumental is different to what it was.
No, it's a great analogy. And as far as yourself, you dropped a project, Return of the Immigrant. Now, I mean, taking that project in, I feel like what's happening now, you pretty much don't care, innit? You're still doing Cashh, innit? Let's keep it real. Man's still doing the bars thing. Man's still going away from the rapping and doing the dancehall and this and that, incorporating a bit of Afro beats as well, some of them tunes. So, like, I mean, as far as you dropping this project, how do you feel like it's been received? Because I'll go on record again to say, bruv, it's a cold project.
Thank you, bro.
Do you know what I mean? Aside from what's happening, in my opinion, you've literally come back and re-established yourself. You know what I mean? So how do you feel this project has been received as far as, you know what I mean, putting it out? How do you feel like it's done?
This project is basically done what man needed it to do in regards to people respecting my pen as an artist now. You get what I'm trying to say? Because the stuff I did prior to me being in the UK, prior to me getting sent to Jamaica, I feel like you could always see the artistry within me. I always kind of did something a bit different to what, like, I was like that artist that's popping with the rest of the artists that are popping, but there's a difference between me. You understand? And I feel like I've managed to take that all the way to where I am now. It's like who Cashtastic was in his artistry, he's now a big man. And this is how he displays himself now. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like musically, being in Jamaica has done a madness to me, bro. You get me? So now I've been able to structure the way I do music a bit different, because now I've spent 5 years in a country where the most popping UK artist at the time wasn't getting played at all in Jamaica. So it's like, it's mad. You can actually be the biggest artist in that country and no one here is playing you at all. And the only reason why is because of the way you're doing your music. You get what I'm trying to say? So now I can think about it like, imagine if you had the All of England and you also had Jamaica and you also had Ghana. And now my mind's thinking international. It's like, blood, okay, so the music has to be a bit different then, because there's certain barriers that stops it from being able to travel. You get what I'm trying to say? Melody is the visa. When you put melody in your music, your music can go to any country in the world.
Great
you understand?
Analogy.
Whereas sometimes your accent is the barrier. You can't go through that. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, because we just don't understand what you're saying. But you put a bit of melody in there, it can go everywhere. That's why Bob Marley's music is played everywhere in the world. You can understand what I'm trying to say? So that's one thing I learned. And even just in terms of the songwriting structure, blending that in with what's already happening within the UK, the whole situation turned me into a beast musically, bro. You get me? So that project was like 7 years worth, because I'd been back 2 years prior to releasing it, and plus the 5 years in Jamaica. So that's a whole journey of music all in one place that I wanted to depict my story without making it a narration of like, track 1, I got in a detention center, and then track 2 is like a continuation. Like, I wanted to do it in a way where all the songs are just separate songs, but there's key elements that tie them all in together. Do you know what I mean? So now when I'm out and when I speak to people, I can see the respect level in terms of me as a musician is different, because the respect level of me on a man-to-man as a human being, when I got back here throughout my situation, like, I received that immediately when I see people. You get me? It's like, blood, for you to go through what you went through and be here in front of me right now, still standing strong as a man, you understand? Like, props to you, you get me? But 100%. Then I needed to get that same regards and that same respect for my music. And that's what Return of the Immigrant did.
I mean, when you listen to it, how it's structured, from the first skit, man, going to the airport, you get it, like cinematic kind of thing, innit? But we're not just focused on the downside. Man can still party, you know, them tunes there, G them, all them tunes there, still Wagwan, Western, you know what I mean? Like, bro, it's like, trust me, like, if you ain't checked it out, go check that out, bro, seriously, you know what I mean? Because that thing there is serious, for real, do you know what I mean? But obviously, again, now, obviously, we're human beings, innit? Like, we go through certain stuff, we overcome them, but there's certain stuff that we can't get away from as far as how people sort of was moving with us when we was going through what we was going through.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, with your thing, you went through something so crazy. You overcame, you beat the system, done something that I don't know who can say that they've achieved in it, and now you're back. I'm sure the tune of certain people must have been different coming around you, because as far as even the industry is concerned, innit? Because you always hear the connotation about the industry being hella fickle. So it's like, now that you're back, it's like, these man, I don't know, some of them might have thought you was finished and you was over, and now they see you doing your thing, you dropped your tape, it's going crazy, people are fucking with you, and it's like you got, like, are there people like that's like that coming to you with some new type energy from when you was trying to maybe try to reach out before, and they was like, you know what I mean?
No, 100%, man, 100%.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? I don't see them as people that I know personally. I see them as potential business associates. And when you put that business word in there, I can't be offended. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, I can only be offended if I thought we were on a certain level together. Like, I thought me and you were brothers, you get me? I thought I knew you and you knew me. So for me to get sent to Jamaica and you disappear and turn fickle on me, I'm only affected because I thought we were brothers. But if you was just somebody that I'm associated with business-wise, I can't be as offended because we don't know each other like that. You get what I'm trying to say? So now I just view the whole thing like that. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I had a list of like people, when I see them, I really wanted to see them in a strong way. You get me? It's like, rah, is this how you're moving? Because you feel like I'm never gonna come back to the UK. I swear on my mother's life, when I see you, you get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
That's how I was feeling. But when I got here, I was thinking to myself, blood, these people are all in a certain place. They've shown they don't fuck with you in a personal place. When they run in, they're not running in because they care about you personally. They're running in because of the hype that's around you as a business. Just view them as business too. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, what go on? Yeah, man, love my bro. Yeah, yeah, chop it up. Boom, 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 boom. Business, signed, sealed, bags there. Let's go. No problem. Let's go. That's it. I keep my shit moving. I don't speak to you on a random Wednesday night. You don't tell me about your problems. So why should I give a fuck about anything to do with you if you didn't give a fuck about anything to do with me? When we're doing business together, we can do business together. It can start there and develop into something later on. But what's switched is I'm not starting it from there now. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, it depends. Obviously, there's people that I fuck with on a personal level. You get me, within the game. But I'm not, my demeanor isn't like, welcoming to everybody straight away on a personal one. It's just kind of like, all right, cool. I can read the room. I know I can read the room. I'm a reader. You get what I'm trying to say? I'll read the room. I'll know who was here, who wasn't here, who moves funny, who doesn't move funny. You get what I'm trying to say? And there's politics behind a lot of things as well. Like, maybe this man might not want to fuck with man because he feels like I have an issue with somebody else, or somebody else has an issue with me, or whatever it is. Again, it's not for me to now condemn this man and feel like, fuck you then. It's for me to read the room. You get what I'm trying to say? People, it's very, 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 like, it's easier said than done. But if you make yourself wanted, everyone's going to want you. There's a price on everything. You can understand what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not just monetary. It's not just money. It could be for clout. It could be for your phone book. It could be for the associations. It could be for protection. It could be for whatever the fuck it is. If you just make sure you've embedded things within you that make people want to be around you. It could just, bro, it could be nothing to do with anything apart from just your energy. Like, blood, I just want to be around my man. Like, everyone that goes around my man eventually turns into something. And this is historical facts. We can go through it, bro. You get me? There's man that's been around, man, from the F64 days, that's behind the camera when Jamal is filming, who are now won Grammys, been nominated for Grammys, now right for Beyonce, and now right, you get what I'm trying to say, Chris Brown and all of these things. You get me? Sold millions of records. Big DJs, won awards. This is all from man's camp. You understand? So sometimes it could just be like, I want to get around him. You get me? Like, you get me? So, yeah, man.
So in essence, you practically grew to a point where obviously them man was moving fickle, but it's like, you know what, do your thing in it, because I understand the climate.
I get
It's
man.
a business,
I
innit?
get it. I get it. And I can only be offended if I view you in a certain way. And I just don't view man in a certain way now.
So like, was there someone that you did view like that? Obviously, you don't have to
bare
say who,
no,
but it's
bare
like,
people, bro.
yeah.
Separate. Remember, the industry is secondary, bro. I'm
Quite
talking.
true.
There's 80% of the people I knew disappeared.
80%.
80% of the people that I've grown up with knowing. I'm talking personal. I'm talking down to family members, right? Once I got on that plane, I had not heard from them again. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, so for me, it was a mad situation to deal with. And of course, I had my phase of like, rah, when I see you, I'm going to make sure you remember that you disappeared on, man. You get me? Like, because I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
but then when I actually, but when I actually got to this place now, it's kind of like, well, no, I'm going to just deal with you normal. And that's going to terrorize you. You're going to want man to have a problem with you. You're going to wish I'm vexed with you. You get me? Because at least there's a line that's cut. You get what I'm trying to say? But if it's not that, you're gonna just really do what you've been doing this whole entire time. You're gonna find it awkward to fuck with me. But I'm gonna always leave the window open for you. You can phone me if you wanna phone me. You can do whatever the fuck you wanna do, but you're scared because maybe if you make that phone call, I'm gonna tell you can't come to this. Access denied. You see it? Yeah.
Literally. All right, so boom, Cashh, my brother, literally, amazing story, compelling. Yeah. Appreciate your time, bro. Like, I mean, it was just awesome hearing it from the main source. Bro, do you know what I mean? Appreciate like, and again, salute to yourself, innit? Like, obviously, everything you've achieved, everything you've overcome. Yeah. And yeah, like, much success to you. I'm sure there's more where that came from, sort of thing, because you sound like, you know, you got a good head on your shoulders, and you're just not shy to anything that's incoming, that's negative, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So obviously, much love, and yeah, appreciate your time, bro.
I love my bro, and make sure everyone go and check that Return of the Immigrant out.
100 million, bro. Check that one out.
Especially, do you know what as well? I'm not even saying that for everyone to go and check it out. If you've watched this interview and you find it compelling and you feel like the story you've heard is something you'd like to delve into a little bit more and figure out some more shit.
I'm sure they will still.
You understand? If that's the case, go and look up the project Return of the Immigrant, and you'll hear sonically what the story is that you've just sat and listened to, basically. So yeah, go and check it out, and obviously follow me on all of the socials, and you'll be able to see. This is just one bit of the chapter. We've got a lot to go.
It's a mad chapter though, isn't it?
Yeah, mad chapter.
I can't wait for the film, bro, innit? Like, I'm gonna have to get like a 1-2%.
You're in there,
come on, my guy. Hey, much love, my bro. Much love.
Love, my G. Yeah.
Literally.